I'm looking good, yeah?
I'm gonna show this to everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from bullfighting, a Bigfoot, to an attempt by scientists to recreate bioprocessors that function like your brain. Ready? Let's jump in. So we start today's episode with a weird one. Tell me, do you see anything strange about this clip? There appears to be a triangular shape and a ring of light around the sun. The one who took the clip was confused and wondered what could be causing this strange thing he was seeing. He uploaded it to one of the paranormal platforms we're on, and once it was there, everyone had something to say. A number of individuals in the community thought this had to be evidence of a cloaked UFO in our skies. The triangular outline in the sky, as well as the ring of light, was to them more than enough proof that there was a UFO hiding that was being exposed by the sun. Now, when I saw this, I looked at the clip several times and thought it might make sense. I finally said to myself that this was evidence of UFO activity that no one could dispute. I should have known better than to say that with Julius our science was around. Like Sheldon in The Big Bang Theory, he just had to chip in his thoughts afterwards. According to him, this could be the result of converging chemtrails left behind by two aircraft. This, according to him, could create the illusion we are seeing. For those unfamiliar with the term, planes typically leave behind white trails called contrails as their hot exhaust gases mix with the cold air. These trails are mostly made of water vapor that freezes in ice crystals. They're not always visible, but when this happens near the sun, the bright light can make it more noticeable and might even create interesting visual effects like a halo or glare, making the contrails seem more prominent or dramatic. This, according to him, might be what we are seeing. But that's not dramatic enough for me. A part of me thinks there might be alien activity going on there. You've seen the clip. What do you think? If you thought that was a bit confusing, then you should definitely see this next one. What do you think we're looking at? It's hard to say given the unusual appearance of the creature in the clip as well as the quality of the clip. Although a bit divided oftentimes, you can trust the paranormal community to always come up with something. First off, some members of the community thought this was bizarre and possibly mutated snake. They were sure that the creature we are seeing was a snake with horns. This was very interesting, but also a bit of a stretch. But when you have to deal with skinwalkers and Bigfoots, a snake with horns shouldn't be the biggest of your issues, right? Well, let's just say it felt off to me and some members of the community. We did some further analysis and settled on the fact that this could be a snake that's eaten a frog or bird. What we perceive as horns may be nothing more than the back legs of a frog or the wings of a bird. But then again, none of this is confirmed. We're only speculating based on what we see. What's your take, though? A snake from the nether realm or a very ordinary snake trying to chow down a huge meal? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. If you've been with us for a while, then you've probably seen some of the strange finds on Google Maps and Google Earth. Although we've seen and reported on a number of these finds, this next one takes the trump card. A man uploaded this clip, and in it we see him going through the app until he settles on a location. He zooms in to reveal a strange landmark, which turns out to be some secret hidden facility. After some clicks, we're introduced to a nighttime view where we see the facility in its full glory. Not only that, but we also see a machine shooting a laser into the sky. This is highly unusual and strange. Without having answers of his own, the individual posted this in the paranormal community hoping someone could help him. We don't fully understand what's going on, but some in the community think this might be a secret research facility. Others think the USA might be using this device to try and break the sky, which brings about the firmament theory. But without going into all that, what do you guys think is going on here? Do you think that's truly a facility out there doing this, or is this an elaborate hoax designed to mislead us? Kindly share your thoughts in the comments sections. We'd really love to know. If you're one of those firm believers in conspiracies, this will make you do a double take. While walking through the woods, someone came across this huge structure. The exterior looked like a mountain, but inside it was an entirely different scene. Massive wooden structures were built within the so-called mountain, revealing it as a hollow structure filled with wooden bricks. I never thought I'd say these words in my life, but it's a fake mountain. What could have camouflaged this place as a mountain? What was it used for? Is this even real at all? Well, the answers to these questions are simple. We don't know. Until we have more information, we won't be able to confirm or disprove this. But what do you think? This footage was shared from Turkey. After an earthquake, someone captured strange lights in the sky. Take a look.
Bakar mısın? Değil mi?
Ne bunun rengi öyle?
He?
Niye kuşlar altın gibi parlıyor?
Beyaz.
Many lights were hovering like a swarm of birds. The lights moved in an erratic pattern, unlike anything seen before. Some in the paranormal community suggest they could be drones. Others speculated it could be volcanic reaction. While one commenter mentioned they had seen it before but couldn't explain it either. Another commenter suggested that this could be the spirits of the dead floating up there. I guess it does look like it, but is it though? The light's mysterious origin and purpose continue to baffle viewers. Everyone's waiting for answers, but without some more information, it's going to be more of an intelligent guess than an answer. Before we move on to the next one, do you think this is a natural phenomenon or do you suspect something more supernatural? Please share your thoughts.
Değil mi?
Ne bunun rengi öyle?
He?
Niye kuşlar altın gibi parlıyor?
Beyaz.
Imagine coming home after a long day, eager to relax, only to find this bizarre-looking thing on your door.
I'm scared.
I know if I was the one who saw this, there'd be no evidence left for a video. It's been a while, but we bring back the bonus segment where you get to tell us what we are looking at and give us one fact in the comments section in exchange for your few seconds of fame on the channel. The only thing is, today we chose a rather unusual footage for our segment. I do have absolute faith in you though. I know you guys can find out what this is. Just tell me its name and one fact about it, starting with the word bonus written in caps so I can easily find it. May the best man, slime, win. Someone allegedly came across this unsettling sight deep in the woods, a massive, otherworldly creature moving on all fours. This entity, with its bark-like texture and towering frame, seemed like it had sprung from a dark fairy tale. I've watched the clip over and over, and that's the best description I could come up with. Is it real, though? My video editor doesn't think so. He believes that whatever that is was created digitally on the PC. He mentions a bunch of things like the frame rate of the object not matching the rest of the clip, as well as color grading and other factors. I don't fully understand it, but I trust Ike, and before you come asking, Ike is the name of the video editor. Why would someone try to mislead us? Hard to tell, but what do you guys think? Is my video editor right, or has any of you encountered a creature that looks like this? Dolphins are such majestic creatures that coming across them in the ocean is like seeing a creature in a fairy tale. I know that's a bit of an exaggeration, but well, who doesn't like dolphins? Someone shared this footage they took while on a boat exploring the ocean. You know, those vacation things people like to do. While on this boat, they saw a dolphin swimming from a distance. The fish would jump out of the water and dive right back in with such grace. It was such a surreal moment until they noticed that there was another creature swimming alongside the dolphin. This creature had a fish-like body but with a pair of human-like hands and a head. When it jumped out of the water, it would move its hands from the sides and join them together to dive into the water. Clearly, this couldn't be a fish, but it couldn't be human as well, unless it was a being with both human and aquatic characteristics. Do you know any beings that fit that bill? Yes, the merfolk. Does this prove they're real once and for all? Well, we'll let you decide that. Some things in this world are simply unexplainable, and our next clip may be one of them. If you don't have the stomach for strange things, please move on to the next clip. You have been warned. A man recently shared footage of this strange and disgusting substance falling from his roof. The video provides no context, leaving viewers to speculate wildly about what it could be.
That is... I'm going to show this to everybody.
The thick, reddish substance interspersed with small black entities defies easy explanation. Some commenters suggested it might be a mass of worms, while others thought it could be a nest of earthworms. As interesting as these speculations are, we've no way of confirming or disproving them. Frankly speaking, I can't even send any of the team members to investigate it. Not sure I can pay for the therapy. What do you guys think it is? On our end, we still aren't sure, but Aaron, our in-house conspiracy theorist, says it reminds him of what the night after Taco Bell feels like. Well, not sure why that came to mind, but I'm not explaining what he means. If you know what this might be, please share in the comments section. Now, when it comes to the solar system or even the universe in general, it's a well-established fact that we have just one sun. However, during a mesmerizing sunset view, someone captured something utterly shocking. In the sky, alongside the familiar glow of our sun, there were two additional suns visible, one on the far left and the other on the far right. This bewildering sight left many scratching their heads and questioning the laws of nature. How could there be two suns? Some suggested it might be a glitch in the camera or the result of unusual atmospheric conditions. Others pondered more fantastical explanations, invoking the possibility of parallel dimensions or extraterrestrial phenomenon. But amidst the uncertainty, one thing remained clear. This was an extraordinary sight that defied conventional understanding. What do you think might explain the presence of these twin suns in the sky? Let us know in the comments section. Have you seen this? The world's first bioprocessor uses 16 human brain organoids for 1 million times less power consumption than a digital chip. What does this mean? Well, for starters, this bioprocessor is like a computer chip, but is made of human brain tissue made from a lab that had 16 brain organoids. These organoids are connected to communication channels known as electrodes, and through that, they process data. But unlike computer chips, this bioprocessor uses less power, in fact, 1 million times less. For now, they last for 100 days. If we know anything about scientists, it's that this wouldn't cut it. I know it's exciting, but it gives me Matrix vibes and has me a little worried and on edge. See what we're able to do with our current processors. Imagine what these could do once they are working optimally. As exciting as that can be, I have one fear. What if we lose control? What if these things evolve beyond us? What then happens to us? You know what? Let's not go there. I wouldn't want to seem like the pessimistic one, but think about it. A woman discovers something on Instagram that will blow your mind and explain why there's a lot of conflict of interest on social media. Take a look.
This is the most insane example of how everyone is experiencing completely different social medias at the exact same time. Like, this video, my boyfriend said he'd be over by 3 after golfing, and like, it's just her every half an hour taking a video saying, oh, he's still not here, and it gets to like 5 or 6 p.m. and he's still not here, okay? I opened the comments of this video, and kind of as I expected, everyone was saying, oh, that's really rude, it's the disregard of her time, I don't like him, did he communicate with you? If not, then that's a red flag, okay? Fair enough, you know? I send this video to my boyfriend who was sat next to me, and then I said to my boyfriend, lol, look at the comments. Bear in mind, these comments were coming up at the top of the list, so as soon as you open the comments, these are the ones that came up for me. At the same time, on the same video, or you could get your own hobby instead of waiting around for him. Like, God forbid he has a good time, he meant before 3 a.m, he's ahead of schedule. No fucking wonder we're all so divided when you can look at the same comments on the same video and it'll change them based on who you are, and I presume based on like other activity in the app. Like, because people look at the fucking comments of a video to gain perspective and see how everyone feels about that video. Like, I do that, I think everyone does that. So if we're looking at it from 2 completely different angles, and the only thing that I can assume really that's that different about our interactions with Instagram is that he's a guy and I'm a girl, and so obviously these are all like on his side and all of mine were on her side.
How is that possible? The top comment she saw on the video from her account was different from the top comment her boyfriend was seeing on the same video but on his account. This practice means that users are continually fed content that reinforces their existing ideologies, creating echo chambers and limiting exposure to diverse perspectives. This disturbing realization highlights the manipulative potential of social media algorithms. How do you feel about this? Do you think social media companies exploit this to control and direct our thinking processes? Or are we just making a fuss over nothing? Please share your thoughts. While walking through the woods at night, someone discovered a peculiar object on a tree. At first it looked like a fungus, but then it started to move in a strange, almost lifelike manner.
Looks like some weird alien bug.
The way it pulsated and shifted was eerie, as if it had a mind. This unexpected movement left the individual questioning the nature of their find. Could it be an undiscovered species or a rare natural phenomenon? The way it glowed and seemed to breathe added to the mystery. In the quiet of the night, with only the sounds of the forest around, the sight was both mesmerizing and unsettling. How is this even possible? Could it be some type of interdimensional creature? Maybe it's a life form we have yet to classify living right under our noses. Someone was driving one night when he noticed some lights in the sky. At first, it looked like nothing to be worried about, perhaps just a plane passing by. However, as he continued driving, the lights remained stationary, hovering in the same spot. This was unusual, especially since there was no airport or known flight path in the vicinity. As he drove closer, the lights didn't move, they remained where they were. The lights seemed to belong to one massive craft, yet the craft itself wasn't visible. It seemed to be shrouded by clouds or even fog, creating an eerie and mysterious silhouette against the night sky. So what could this be? Some suggest it might be a secret military aircraft using advanced cloaking technology. Others firmly believe it's evidence of extraterrestrial life visiting our planet under the cover of darkness. Now what about you? What do you think? This next clip was shared online by a Russian hiker, and it shows an intriguing encounter in the woods. While hiking, he noticed a creature walking ahead of him. The creature had brown fur, stood about 8 to 9 feet tall, and had long arms that extended slightly below the knees. As it took long strides, its arms swung in a relaxed manner, seemingly unaware of the man observing it. The hiker, keeping a safe distance, managed to capture several minutes of this encounter on his phone. The creature's movements were fluid and natural, adding to the authenticity of the sighting. The video quickly went viral, drawing attention from Bigfoot enthusiasts and skeptics alike. We all know what this creature is believed to be: a Bigfoot. Of all the footage I've seen, this seems like the one of the closest glimpses of the creature. But what do you think? Could this be genuine footage of the elusive Bigfoot, or is it just another hoax? While out at sea, a fisherman noticed something in the water with glowing eyes staring right at him. Intrigued and a bit unnerved, he threw a small fish into the water, but the creature didn't budge. This behavior was odd, since he knew that crocodiles or alligators do not live in salty water. As the fisherman continued to watch, the creature remained still, its glowing eyes reflecting the moonlight in an almost hypnotic manner. He captured the eerie scene on his phone, and boy, are we glad he did. It adds some authenticity to his experience and narration. The footage shows the glowing eyes in stark contrast to the dark, choppy water, creating a hauntingly beautiful visual. As beautiful as it might be, there's one question that needs answering. What could this creature be? The ocean is vast and full of mysteries, and sightings like these often leave more questions than answers. Some viewers speculated it might be a bioluminescent sea creature, while others leaned toward more fantastical explanations, such as a sea monster or an alien life form. What do you think? There are stories of how ancient floods destroyed advanced civilizations, forcing humans to start anew. These theories often stem from various hieroglyphs found in historical places, from giant structures to portal-like formations. These ancient carvings depict scenes that are both fascinating and puzzling. What do these images mean? It cannot just be imagination if these drawings and paintings show similar themes from different parts of the world. Some suggest these depictions are evidence of ancient visitors from other planets, while others argue that they're symbolic representations of natural phenomena or spiritual beliefs. Archaeologists and historians have long debated the meanings behind these drawings. Some believe they represent the technological prowess of ancient civilizations, suggesting that humanity once possessed advanced knowledge and capabilities. The images of crafts and giant humans found in disparate locations around the globe hint at a shared heritage or knowledge. So what do you think? Are these hieroglyphs evidence of a forgotten advanced civilization, or are they merely myth and legend? Do you believe in coincidence? Because the next footage is about to blow your mind.
Oh my god.
Do it.
Don't!
Prove
I'm
it.
at work.
Prove it.
In the video, a man behind the camera tells a woman to do it. We don't know what he's referring to until she raises her hands in the air. At that exact moment, lightning strikes the spot where her fingers point in the sky. The man's reaction is one of pure astonishment as he captures the event with shaky hands. Even the woman appears to be in disbelief, looking at her hands and then back at the sky as if questioning her newfound powers. The timing is impeccable, making it hard to dismiss as mere coincidence. Was it just a coincidence, or did we just witness a real-life storm?
Prove
I'm
it.
at work.
Prove it.
A man had been hearing strange noises coming from one of the rooms in his house. He searched everywhere but couldn't find the source of the noise until he stumbled upon a strange structure in one of the rooms. Inside it, a pair of eyes stared back at him. It looked like an owl, but the situation was bizarre. The structure was a hollow pole made of foil, which looked like a good place for a nest. But how did it manage to get inside a house and into that? No one can tell, but I know it would be glad to finally find out. I know I mentioned owl, but what do you think this is? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Most people believe that when someone dies, their spirit lingers around their loved ones before crossing over to another world. This belief was particularly strong for one family who had just lost their beloved grandpa. After his passing, the family began experiencing strange occurrences in their home. The most unsettling event was captured on camera. In the middle of the night, the deceased's granddaughter was sleeping in a room when a white figure entered. The figure stood over her for a moment before disappearing. Remarkably, the family cat also noticed the presence climbing on top of the girl as if to protect her. When the family reviewed the footage, they were convinced it was the grandfather making one last visit to say goodbye. The room felt colder than usual, and the cat's unusual behavior only added to the family's conviction. Could it be a loving farewell from the afterlife, or is there a more rational explanation for this ghostly figure? Let us know in the comments. Footage has emerged showing a huge patch of clouds floating unusually close to the ground, right above the water. It looked as though someone on a boat could reach up and touch it. This cloud not only floated at an oddly low altitude, but also had a peculiar shape. At one point, part of the cloud shot out, changing its shape dramatically. While clouds naturally move and change shape, this seemed different. Now, I don't know how this is possible because clouds are typically high up in the sky. Some observers have suggested that this might be evidence of artificial clouds created by humans, possibly for weather modification purposes. There's a growing body of speculation around cloud seeding and other geoengineering techniques that could explain such anomalies. On the other hand, conspiracy theorists have long positioned that unusual clouds could be cloaked UFOs, while advanced technology to disguise themselves. The erratic movement and shape-shifting characteristics of this cloud seem to lend some credence to these theories. Others might argue that this is simply a rare but natural atmospheric phenomenon, perhaps involving temperature inversions or unique weather patterns that we don't fully understand. What do you think is going on here? A tranquil hike through the woods took an ominous turn for an unsuspecting couple. At first, they dismissed the occasional crack of a twig or rustle of leaves as simply the sounds of nature. But a persistent, deliberate presence made the hairs on the back of their necks stand on end. Something, or someone, was out there, carefully tracking their movements through the dense foliage. They strained to catch a glimpse, but the thick trees and bush obscured their view. The couple could only make out occasional flashes of movement, too large and purposeful to be a small forest creature. A cold trickle of fear ran down their spines. Just an animal, or something much more mysterious, even sinister? Occasionally a pair of eyes pop up, and the man says, "I see you," which makes whatever it is retreat.
I see you. Those eyes are wide, too.
Their imaginations ran wild. Could this be the legendary Sasquatch pursuing them, or some other cryptid, an undiscovered species perhaps? The thought of being stalked by an unknown entity raises the anxiety to a fever pitch as they tried to discern what manner of being was trailing them. The couple quickened their pace, desperate to escape the trees and the unseen watcher within. The video was uploaded, so it's safe to say they escaped, but what could have been stalking them? I think they've got to be wolves, but what do you guys think? When it comes to road construction, engineers must use strong materials that can withstand the pressure from huge and heavy vehicles. So they use stones, bricks, and the rest. So imagine my surprise when I came across this footage.
In Chicago right now, and I look over at this street that's getting tore up right now, and I'm like, oh, cool, pavers were once underneath this road. No, bro, this is wood. This street in Chicago was like wood pavers. I have never in my life seen this before. I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't know this existed. But no, I mean, look at this. It's all...
A man walking through Chicago came across this road. When he looked on the ground, there was what looked like bricks, but as he got closer, he found out that they weren't bricks, but wood. The street was made of wood. How is this even possible for all those years? So I looked at the comments section and some people did confirm it. One person said Wooden Alley is a historical woodblock paved road connecting Astor Street and State Street in the near North Side neighborhood of Chicago, Illinois. The alley is 530 feet, 160 meters long, and composed of wooden blocks roughly 6 to 10 inches, 150 to 250 millimeters long, and 4 inches, 100 millimeter wide. Interesting, wouldn't you agree?
In Chicago was like wood pavers. I have never in my life seen this before. I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't know this existed. But no, I mean, look at this. It's all, you can see like the wood dust underneath it. Somebody hooked me up with some knowledge about this because I am shook and fascinated.
A new Turkish surgery procedure is causing a lot of buzz online. A man who underwent the procedure appears to look like 2 or 3 decades younger. This transformation is so dramatic that some people believe it's not the same person. Others think it might be a father and son duo. The before and after photos are astounding, showing a significant reduction in wrinkles, age spots, and sagging skin. Would you be willing to try out a procedure to look decades younger? Also, what do you think? Same person, or is someone trying to pull a fast one on us? Now, what do we have here? A strange-looking creature that was found on our shores was seen running toward the water, but what could it be? It appears to have spikes all over its body. As it got closer, the waves came and washed it into the ocean. The creature's movements were swift and almost frantic, as if it were desperate to return to the safety of the water. Its spiky exterior glistened under the sunlight, making it look even more unusual and otherworldly. Does anyone have any idea what it might be? If you do, could you please let us know in the comments? Thank you very much. Did you know each human sperm cell packs about 37.5 megabyte of data? That's like a tiny biological USB stick. Considering the average ejaculation contains around 450 million sperm, that's a whopping 16 terabyte of data, enough to fill numerous hard drives. Each sperm carries half the genetic information needed to create a new human. When DNA sequences are digitalized, each sperm's DNA equates to 37.5 megabyte. Multiply that by 450 million and you get an impressive 16 terabyte of genetic information. This fact raises intriguing questions about the potential of biological data storage and the future of bioinformatics. Perhaps men ought to be conservative about their sperm and not waste it, if you know what I mean. Have you ever heard of a storm chaser? Well, it's quite a unique job, as the name suggests. These are people who seek out dangerous weather, traveling great distances to capture photos and videos of nature's most powerful phenomenon. This particular footage was taken by a storm chaser who traveled to Krakow, Poland to film an approaching storm. He positioned his drone at a higher altitude, ready to capture the storm in all its glory. After the storm passed, he reviewed the footage and discovered something unexpected. A strange, glowing object moved rapidly from one spot to another before vanishing into the water. For someone whose job is to observe weather patterns, finding something like this is indeed odd and worth questioning. According to him, the object moved at a speed of 100 meters per second, extremely fast. Take a look at the footage and tell me what you think this object could be. Is it just a natural phenomenon, an optical illusion, or something more mysterious, like evidence of extraterrestrial activity, or perhaps a top-secret technology being tested? Take a look at this unique dog. It has a black short coat, a slender body, upright long ears, and a long tail. This creature looks like it could be the cousin of a chupacabra, but it's not. This is what we call a Zolliot-Skuntali. It's a type of dog. The Zolliot-Skuntali, often referred to simply as the Zolo or Mexican hairless dog, is a unique and ancient breed with origins dating back over 3,000 years to pre-Columbian times in Mexico. It's one of the world's oldest and rarest breeds. This particular breed holds significant cultural importance in Mexico. In ancient times, they were revered by the Aztecs and other Mesoamerican civilizations and believed to have spiritual significance and even healing powers. They were often depicted in art and mythology and were considered sacred companions, thought to guide the souls of the dead through the underworld. But in today's world, they're raised as pets and are very loyal companions, known for their intelligence, calm demeanor, and affectionate nature. Solos make excellent pets for those who appreciate their unique appearance. Would you get one? From all that we hear about Bigfoot, they're believed to be very strong creatures capable of tearing large trees apart. But imagine a Bigfoot coming up against a bull. Who do you think would win? Before you answer, take a look at this footage first. A farmer carved a Bigfoot silhouette on a metal sheet and placed it on the fence of his bull farm. One bull walked over to the Bigfoot cutout and used its horns to tear it apart with much aggression, as if it had a grudge against Bigfoot. The bull's raw power and determination were on full display. Now imagine if this was the real thing. Who do you think would win? Both creatures possess brutal strength and aggression, making this a hypothetical battle for the ages. On one side, we have the mysterious and elusive Bigfoot, known for its immense power, and on the other, the bull is a symbol of raw strength and tenacity. Who would you place your bet on? Characters like Headless Nick and other headless characters from popular movies have given us a love-hate relationship with headless characters. But what would you do if you ran into one of those characters in person? Well, what you are seeing is an actual headless individual, or at least an individual that looks like one that was captured on a home security camera. Now, the homeowner, of course, was freaking out and decided to upload the footage online. Why, you ask? So we could confirm if this was real or not. Looking at it, what do you think? Real, or is someone just messing with her? Stepping away from Bigfoot, we have a very disturbing capture. Take a look. What do you think this is? A rake, an alien, or some other type of cryptid? The truth is, it doesn't look like any of these creatures if you ask me. Sure, it's got the white skin and alien physique to go with it, but when you truly think about it, you realize that this creature looks like it came from a different realm or world. Unfortunately, try as we might, we can't match it to any other cryptid we know. What do you think this is? Am I missing something? Have you encountered something like this before? Share your experiences and theories with us in the comments section. In a peculiar encounter captured on footage, a curious individual stumbles upon a shelled creature resembling a crab.
Yo, what the fuck is this thing? A crab? Coral?
As the observer approaches the creature, it emits a peculiar sound, creating an unusual auditory experience. Simultaneously, the camera captures vibrations and becomes blurred. Some who have seen the footage believe that the creature wields electromagnetic powers. Looking at the footage, I'm tempted to think the same.
A crab? Coral?
What do you guys think, though? Is this one of those cases, or am I seeing stuff that isn't there? The magical world of insects introduces another wonder, the pink wing phasma. This captivating creature, part of the phasmid family, possesses a special charm that mesmerizing those lucky enough to come across it. With gentle grace, the insect rests on the observer's palm, displaying its detailed wings adorned with a subtle pink tint. Feeding on the leaves of different eucalypt tree species, these creatures mainly inhabit the expansive landscape of Australia. The intricate patterns and captivating colors on its wings turn this already intriguing insect into a living masterpiece, encouraging us to appreciate the beauty of nature's creations. This next footage will shock even the most open-minded of us. Instead of me talking plenty, just watch. Looks like a woman sitting in a tree, doesn't it? Or like a saint of some sorts, but is it really? Turns out it's not. According to the uploader of the footage, what you see on your screen is actually what was mysteriously found in the tree. It had either suddenly appeared there overnight, or they had just not noticed it in each of their visitations to the woods, which is most unlikely since they visit often according to them. But even if it had been there long, who put it there and why? What would be the benefit of having a statue in a tree? Who would see it? What if it falls? This is where the myths and stories come in. Some believe it could be an ancestor or saint reappearing and making a statement to them. Sounds like a scene from the Tomb Raider or something, but right now we don't have much to go on. What do you think? Are there aliens living among us? Do you have first contact? Anyone who is interested in extraterrestrial life would have heard these questions. But are they questions we have answers to? Well, our next clip will suggest so. Take a look. Yeah, you're actually seeing right. Those are alien-looking creatures standing in what looks like a farm area or a barn staring in the direction of the camera. We don't have the history or background of the footage, but it's being paraded on paranormal platforms as being footage of aliens. What do you think? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. In the surreal landscapes near the Fresno Manizales route, an enigmatic spectacle unfurls near the formidable Cerro Bravo. An apparent crack in the rocks shows a strange glow inside, similar to what we see near active volcanoes about to erupt. Active or potentially active volcanoes can exhibit various signs, including emissions of gases, steam, or even incandescent material. Could this be one of those instances? Julius thinks so. Aaron, however, thinks the Earth gods are made and the hue is simply a confirmation of that. I'm leaning more toward Julius's explanation, as that sounds more plausible. Hopefully local authorities saw the video and took appropriate actions. If not, this would be nothing more than a ticking time bomb. A wildlife cam captured this huge crocodile. They say it's about 50 feet long or more. If it's true, this reptile is massive. Crocodiles are reptiles that can grow to impressive sizes. The largest species, the saltwater crocodile, Crocodylus porosus, holds the record for being the largest living reptile and can reach lengths of about 17 to 23 feet on average. Exceptional individuals have reported to reach lengths of around 25 feet. While a crocodile of around 50 feet would be at the extreme upper limit for known species, it's not entirely impossible, especially considering that crocodiles can vary in size and there may be larger individuals in certain populations. At least, that's what we theorize, but do share your thoughts. This next one is for the hunters, but before I show it to you, do you guys have any weird encounters when hunting? If you do, please share it in the comments. If you have pictures or footage, please mail them to classifiedcaptures@gmail.com and we'll gladly show them and give you the credit. Coming back to our footage, take a look. Do you see those beady eyes and the head it belongs to? This was captured by a hunter while out on a hunt. While it's easy to miss the first time, the hunter insists that this was a paranormal being that was tailing him whenever he came to the forest. It always appears and reappears in spots that are hard for him to see. On the day he recorded, however, he was intentional about finding it and taking evidence because everyone laughed at him whenever he spoke about it. Do you see it too? Do you believe it's real, or do you think out of desperation he might have resulted in CGI to prove his point? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Still on strange spirits, take a look at this next clip. If anything, this capture is much more creepier and disturbing than the other. What is that? Why is it moving left and right? Why does it look like that? We did our research and checks and found out that it looks like no cryptid or paranormal entity ever recorded and sent to us. In simpler terms, we don't know what it is, nor can we even begin to understand its existence. Is it a wandering spirit? Did it just materialize in our plane? Is it back for vengeance? These are questions that plague our minds, yet they are also questions we may never have answers to. Have you ever encountered something like this? Tell us about your experience. Still in the airy realm of the supernatural, a backyard security camera becomes an unwitting witness to a bone-chilling spectacle. In the middle of the day, in the bright sunlight, a dark figure quickly moves across the scene. Unlike fading smoke wisps, this appearance is much more mysterious. Yes, another dark entity. Usually we link paranormal sightings to nighttime situations, making people curious about this strange daytime appearance. Yet this looks like an exception. The unclear nature of the entity makes the mystery even bigger. Is it a harmful force, or maybe it's something completely different, possibly even something good? On the slopes of Wasatch Mountain, this unusual scene was recorded. A creature unknown to anyone was seen running on the steep mountainside. Mind you, at the time it had snowed heavily, so the mountain was steep and impossible for someone to run on it. This led them to believe that could be a Bigfoot out there. So with that in mind, they sent a helicopter to search the mountain slopes for more evidence. As the helicopter circled overhead, there it was, a figure that matched the description of Bigfoot moving on the mountainside. While skeptics may explain the sightings as optical illusions or misinterpretations, enthusiasts and believers in cryptozoology find such evidence compelling. They see it as a step closer to unraveling the mystery surrounding these creatures. We like to start with big and grand things, literally, but today is a bit different. While the creature we start with may not be big or ginormous in size, it's got a mystery that makes it worth the spot. Take a look. What do you think that is? You can't say, right? Well, so is every single person we've shown the capture to. Nobody has been able to describe the creature thus far, which is no surprise, given how it looks. It does kinda look like a bird, that's certainly true, but what kind of bird looks like that? None that we're aware of. When you tune your mind off it potentially being a bird, it appears to have the silhouette of a sloth, albeit a much smaller and yellowish one. As you can probably tell by now, we've no idea what we're dealing with, but that could also be because we have untrained eyes as far as wildlife is concerned. Do any of you know what this is? Can you educate us, please? We'd really love to know. For our next footage, we visit Mother Russia. Take a look. What you see on your screen was actually captured by some school children who were out in the woods doing what young boys do. They expected to be alone, but unbeknownst to them, they were actually invading the space of a creature that resides in the area. From the footage, we can see it moving in the background. The young kids believed they met the Yeti, and I can't fault them for thinking so because I was not there with them. One thing bothers me though. The Yeti is described as having white fur, but what we see in the footage clearly does not. This leaves me conflicted. I'm currently wondering if our ideologies on the Yeti have been wrong all this while, or if the boys are simply lying so they could get some clout. What do you think? In an unusual scene in Africa, a man comes across a tree that is different from the usual ones. This tree has eggs instead of the typical fruits. The man then picks these unusual eggs from the branches and brings them inside for a closer look. When he cracks open the eggs, a surprising discovery is made. There are seeds inside the shells. Undeterred, the man decides to cook these unconventional eggs by frying them in hot oil. The process unfolds similar to regular eggs, leaving viewers both intrigued and puzzled. This whimsical event brings a mix of amusement and skepticism, as the man seems to have a tree that produces eggs. I mean, he's got a literal eggplant in his house. Either that, or it's sorcery, or a fake. It's fascinating how mysteries of the ocean often captivate our imagination. In this footage, a curious observer capturing the beauty of the ocean stumbled upon an intriguing sight. Far beyond the shore, something was seen moving rapidly in the sea. The movement was too swift to be your typical fish and seemed to follow a straight trajectory. This looks like some sort of craft. Some people say it might be a submarine, but the strange thing seems to be moving on the surface, assuming regular submarine behavior is questionable. On the other hand, more imaginative voices suggest it could be an alien spacecraft. What do you think? For our next clip, we travel back in time to April 2019. What do you see when you look at the footage? There's a creature hiding behind the foliage, hoping it has not been seen. But you and I, alongside the individual who recorded it, can clearly see it. One question remains, however. What creature is that? While many answers may be subjective, I can't help but feel that we're looking at a Bigfoot trying its best to hide in plain sight. I know the video isn't very clear, but if you try very hard, you can see the creature's built-in fur. The uploader was very sure it was not dealing with a bear or any other type of ape because they're practically not common or present in the area where he recorded the clip. That leaves only one culprit: Bigfoot. What do you think? Now, seeing this footage gives me the heebie-jeebies. If you were a pre-90s baby like me and grew up watching movies like Anaconda et al., you'd understand. Movies like that made my generation fear big snakes, but not Gen Z and some members of Gen Y. They enjoyed touching and helping snakes, which is exactly what we see in the footage. Here they are helping the snake cross the street. I guess that's a good thing because it helps preserve these snake species and keep their populations healthy. I can't even tell what species it is whenever I see a big snake. I just see an anaconda. To my snake enthusiasts out there, can you recognize the creature and tell us what exact species it is? Or was I right in calling it an anaconda? Anyone who's subscribed to this channel knows we love our big guy. In fact, there are lots of clips on this channel featuring the big guy. There are some that were very convincing and some we flat out thought had to be false. We thought we'd seen it all until this clip was sent to us.
Oh my gosh, please tell me you're getting this. Are you getting this? Yeah, I'm videotaping it. Oh my gosh, this is insane.
Yes, that's a relatively short clip by our Bigfoot standards, but did you guys notice something? The big guy was not walking or moving slowly and steadily like we're used to. Even the calculated walk was not seen. The big guy appears to be somewhat leaping, and that's a first for us. In fact, we weren't the only ones who thought so. We did some digging around, and it turns out that this was filmed in 2015. The reason it looks blurry is because it has been zoomed in several times over and brightened to reveal the Bigfoot, which was quite a distance from the one who took the clip. Apparently, there was a lot of skepticism on the legitimacy of the clip once it hit the internet, since many people believe Bigfoots don't move that fast. They even nicknamed the creature the Leaping Yeti. Although they didn't think it was a Bigfoot, they agreed that the creature was real. Even though it's not been seen since, it remains one of the most intriguing clips among the Russian paranormal and cryptid community. While we're used to a certain definition of Bigfoot, do you think it's possible that there's a creature out there the size of Bigfoot that moves like that? We can't confirm or dismiss it without further evidence, but you can at least share your thoughts, and we'll be glad to hear them.
What is that? Oh my gosh, please tell me you're getting this. Are you getting this? Yeah, I'm videotaping it. Oh my gosh, this is insane.
Above the clouds, an interesting object was captured that left many wondering what it could be. The object has a unique shape with a horizontal top and a vertical part that resembles a hammer, starting from the middle downwards. It floated above the clouds for some time, casting a shadow on the clouds below. As it slowly descended into the clouds, it gradually vanished from view. The mysterious object left many wondering about its origin and purpose. Some believe it was a UFO, while others think it may have been a weather balloon or some other type of experimental aircraft. More outlandish theories propose that it was an interdimensional being or even a top-secret military craft. What do you think it is? Fire doesn't just form out of thin air now, does it? If you answered yes, then how do you explain this? And yes, you are looking at some sort of fiery bubble that suddenly appeared in the sky, but just as quickly as it appeared, it disappeared without a trace. What could it have been? Well, no one knows. All we have are speculations, including our very own. Some suggest it could be a secret weapon that was being tested, while others think it could be a paranormal event. There's not much information to go on with, so it's hard to prove or disprove anything. Either way, what do you think we might be dealing with? Tell us in the comment section below. Speaking of questionable Bigfoot captures, take a look at this next one. This was apparently captured by a man in his car while he was on a trip. He saw the creature from afar, got close enough to take a look at it, and ran away. Now, I'm no skeptic when it comes to Bigfoot, but I simply have so many questions when it comes to this footage. First off, the area doesn't look like a place where someone is casually driving around, so how did this vehicle get into such an area to see the Bigfoot? Assuming we believe him and what he's saying is true, pay attention to the Bigfoot's movements. They're so much more human than that of a giant creature. Do you see the discrepancies that I'm seeing too, or do you have a different opinion? Please share in the comments section. Still on strange things in our sky, we've got this clip featuring a strange-looking cloud hovering in the sky a little too close to the ground compared to the rest of the clouds. Much weirder, this particular cloud was darker and had some peculiar object sticking out of it. Anyone who is observant would obviously realize that this was definitely a cloud with something in it, or something using a cloud as cover. Much like the last Avatar scene where Anne uses a cloud as camouflage to hide the gang in Appa, I digressed. As humorous as that sounds, I was not the only one thinking about it. Many in the comments section thought so too. They said that the cloud was camouflage, hiding something that was cloaked behind aerogel. For those unfamiliar with it, aerogel is a unique material that's known for its extremely low density and highly porous structure. It's sometimes referred to as frozen smoke or solid air because of its translucent appearance and lightweight nature. In essence, it can look like this strange cloud. The substance is, however, quite rare, which will make having this amount quite strange. This has led to speculations that this could belong to one of two groups, the government or aliens. I know it sounds like a bit of a stretch, but do you have any other possible explanation for this? If you do, please share in the comments section. We love to read your hypothesis. Still on UFOs discovered in the ocean, take a look at this one. This discovery was made by a team of explorers exploring the ocean depths. Now, when you look at it, it looks like a rusty saucer that's been left in the ocean for years, if not millennia. Upon closer inspection, the explorers noticed that it had intricate designs etched all over its surface. Although there is limited information available about this saucer, its discovery provides concrete evidence that there is some form of technology out there that does not belong to humans. If the footage is to be believed, then the professor in the previous clip might just have been right. Given the age we live in, though, the possibility of computer manipulation and CGI cannot be ruled out, even though the saucer appears to be eerily real. Many in the paranormal community did share their thoughts on the discovery. A number of them were skeptical. One person thought it was nothing more than a large seashell, but a closer look will show it's definitely not. Some even made fun of those who posted the clip. Despite the skepticism, however, some thought it might be real, just not what we're making it out to be, say a submerged submarine. However, I doubt any of the military submarines look anything like this. Some also stated it could be a UFO since they don't rust. Despite the skepticism, many held onto the belief it was a UFO. Some even called it a USO, that is, an identified submersible object. Having seen it yourself, share your personal observations. The footage you are seeing is from Jacksonville, and yes, those are clowns. Imagine waking up and seeing clowns standing at your door with clubs or some other mysterious object in their hands. Would you run or would you stay? With my experience in all things paranormal, trust me when I say I'd run, and I'd run very quickly. It's better to be laughed at for being afraid than to die at the hands of some killer clown because you underestimated it. But am I being paranoid? Do I sound paranoid? Maybe I need a break, but either way, you have to agree, this is creepy. It turned out to be a practical joke, but clearly many of the individuals who experienced it didn't think so. Have you ever seen a mastiff scared? Well, the individual recording our next footage saw her pup truly terrified for the first time as they went through the woods, and you won't believe what they encountered. Yes, that, my friend, is a Bigfoot. At least, we think it is. Looking at what's on your screen, does any other creature come to mind? None, right? Before you jump in and say we are dealing with an ape, know that New Hampshire has no apes. That leaves us with only one plausible explanation. We are dealing with a Bigfoot. Do you think otherwise? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. The possibility of life beyond Earth has always been an intriguing topic for many people. For years, scientists have used state-of-the-art equipment to search for signs of extraterrestrial life. Despite their efforts, there has been no definite proof that life forms exist, at least not one that has been made public yet. Recently, this video emerged and it sparked a new wave of interest in the possibility of life beyond Earth. The footage shows several crafts that appear to be floating above the moon's surface. These crafts have unique shapes and seem to be moving in the same direction. Now that's curious. What is the purpose of these crafts? Are they manned or unmanned? What kind of technology do they use? One of the commenters on the original post shared an interesting tale. He states that his father, who'd never believed in aliens, saw a ship through a telescope and was shocked. After what he saw, his dad became a believer. Now, there's no way of verifying this particular story, but there have been similar stories coming from all over the globe. Take a look at some of these comments. All these comments have to mean something, right? This video footage could be the proof that we have been looking for all along. It could be the evidence that definitely proves the existence of alien life beyond our planet. Despite the evidence, many believe it has to be false. They rationalize saying that what we are seeing was nothing more than ticks on a dirty lens. Some even suggested that they were ants. You've seen the clip and heard both sides, so what do you think is much closer to the truth? Share your thoughts in the comments section.
이 설왕설래를 낳고 있던데 수많은 목격담도 이어지고 있고 말이죠. 자, 그런데 오늘은
Next, we have this footage from Korea that was captured on the 8th of April 2024. This was during the eclipse that was not readily visible from Seoul, Korea. In this footage, a mysterious object zooms across the sky, leaving viewers astonished. The video, captured by a golfer, shows a dark, unidentified object appearing suddenly and then disappearing as quickly as it did. The object's remarkable speed and agility surpass typical aircraft or drones, which is very curious. The footage caught the attention of the news, which dubbed it a UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Despite attempts to analyze and enhance the footage, the object remains elusive, appearing as a blur due to its rapid movement. Some have naturally assumed it's a spacecraft taking advantage of the eclipse, while others think it might be something else entirely. Regardless, no one truly knows what's happening, and with no concrete evidence or definitive explanations, the true nature of this UAP remains unknown. We have reason to, however, believe that that's not the first time whatever it was has zoomed through the atmosphere. Speaking of strange paranormal occurrences and beings, take a look at this next capture. What comes to mind when you see it? Literally the devil, right? It has this demonic and ominous feel to it. Its physique and either pointed ears or horns have this demonic feel to it. What makes this crazy is the fact that it was captured by a trail cam hidden in the woods. Now, the owner had noticed weird things happening in those woods, including animals being found with their blood drained or partially eaten. Anyone who knows anything about the wild will know that no food gets wasted and predators do not kill animals for its blood. The owner of the camera had long suspected that something weird was going on, but never did he ever think he would discover something like this as the reason. Now, he refused to disclose his location, but what would you do in his situation? Tell us in the comments section. This footage was captured by individuals who went into an abandoned hospital to see what they could find. Once I read this, my mind was like, what else do you expect to find in the hospital? Anyway, if you pay attention to the footage, you'll see that he is the last in his group since he's recording. When he turns around with the camera, however, we see another frail, weak-looking man behind him. Within some seconds, however, this image of the man suddenly disappears, which leaves you wondering, what just happened? Well, some believe it's a ghost. Well, actually, all believe it's a ghost, and I don't see any other explanation for it. Do you? Things get even weirder with this next clip taken in Asia. We're not told where exactly, but a strange fleet of lights was seen in the night sky. The lights were arranged in a unique formation and moved in synchronization. Usually, these formations are mostly seen with migrating birds, but it's highly unlikely that this was the case here. Birds don't emit any light, which would make it difficult for them to create a spectacular display in the dark. Despite this, many in the comments section believed that they had to be birds. Logically speaking, that's very unlikely unless there are some bioluminescent birds out there that glow in the dark. Oddly enough, many held on to the idea. There were some, however, who believed that the whole thing was simply blue beam tech being tested by our government. If you've followed the channel for a while, we've mentioned it several times. Although there's no definitive proof of its existence, many in the paranormal community believe that there's a powerful machine out there that's capable of creating illusions in the atmosphere. This, they believe, belongs to the government for the purposes of misinformation and control. The hologram projections from this machine are allegedly so powerful and incredibly realistic and can take on any form. They can be used to create an illusion of something that's not there. This could be very convincing. Despite the skepticism surrounding the product, the possibility of this being a product of blue beam technology cannot be ruled out. However, others believe that the display could be a result of drone activity. The question remains, though, why so many drones for a single display? Also, if it was a drone display, surely we would have found some information on it, but try as we may, we found nothing. Unless, of course, we're looking in the wrong places. As we ponder the possibility of alien life, let's explore the supernatural realm. Ghosts, the spirits of departed humans, have been thought to be part of human existence for centuries, often hiding from our sight but occasionally revealing themselves. They're said to be the remnants of those who have not yet found peace and continue to linger around the living realm. Various pieces of evidence have been presented to support their existence, such as footage of dark apparitions crossing roads and appearing in surveillance camera, feeding dogs. These entities resemble humans in many ways, but their intangibility distinguishes them from the living. They can appear and disappear at will and can pass through solid objects such as walls or cars without any resistance. While they're believed to be humans who have passed on, what if there is more to these entities than we currently understand? What if they're not just remnants of the departed souls, but rather something else entirely? There have been theories that suggest that ghosts could be a manifestation of energy or a projection of our consciousness. Speaking of creatures with pointed appendages, what do you think is happening with the antlers of this deer? If you've watched any of our previous videos, you would have caught me explaining how deer and other cervidae antlers are formed. I've also explained their shedding and growing process. To make sure you're being very good students, I'm going to ask questions instead of telling you what's going on. So, question number 1. What do you think is happening with the deer? Question number 2, is this something normal or is the deer sick? Start your answer with the word deer so I know you were responding to this. The best answers get a shout out in our next video. I can't wait to see the kinds of answers you guys come up with. Imagine you're riding a bike and almost hit a young lady and then she disappears when you turn around to make sure she's fine. That's exactly what happened to the cyclist you see in the footage. Spooked, he uploaded this online and all who saw it had one thing to say. It's definitely a Yurei. The young man was Asian, hence the Asian paranormal. For my folks in the West, a Yurei is a spectral being from Japanese folklore and mythology. They're typically depicted as vengeful spirits of the dead and are associated with ghostly apparitions, hauntings, and supernatural occurrences like what the young man experienced. They're typically dressed in kimonos or funeral attires, which makes me wonder if what we saw was truly one. But if they're vengeful spirits, what did the young man do to attract one? Either way, what do you all think? Do we have Asians in our audience? Can you throw more light on this? A trail camera in the woods took an unusual picture, showing a blurry shape hovering above the ground. The mysterious nature of this image has led to different interpretations among viewers. Some suggest a simple explanation, saying the blurry figure might be a moth, considering its relatively small size. On the other hand, a more supernatural view has come up, especially because of where the picture was taken, on a property in Missouri on a small rock burial mound. There are many speculations, with some considering the possibility that this ghostly presence could be some kind of entity silently moving through the mysterious landscape captured by the trail camera. Starting a day like any other, a man became fascinated by an unusual sight in the sky. Initially thinking the flying objects were just regular birds, maybe geese flying together, a closer look revealed a more puzzling story. Zooming in for a better view, the observer was met with a truly extraordinary scene. These creatures, far from the usual birds, had huge wings that looked like those of a bat, but on a massive scale. The sheer size and otherworldly appearance sparked imagination and curiosity, making people wonder about fantastical possibilities. Could these mysterious entities be dinosaurs or perhaps even dragons? These days, don't be shy to lean toward the supernatural or fiction because things are just so bizarre. Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? Thank you very much. This footage starts off as an innocent one of buffaloes, and it might have stayed that way if you don't pay attention to the footage. But once you start paying attention, you see it. There in the top right corner of the clip, there's a figure moving from the right to the left. Judging by its size in relation to the buffaloes we see, we can tell it's massive because if you know anything about buffaloes, you know that they are massive. But what could that be? You don't need to be an expert to know we are definitely dealing with a Bigfoot. Although it's quite the distance in the footage, you can tell there's some fur there and it's got a human-like stride. There's no other being in existence that's got both features going for it except the Bigfoot. But what do you make of the whole thing? Share your thoughts with me in the comments section. Next, we've something we can all recognize. In fact, take a look at the footage. Now, it starts off as very uneventful, but after a few seconds, just around the side mirror of the vehicle, we see some eyes peering out. Now, as if having eyes appear from nowhere when you're sleeping in your vehicle in the woods was not scary enough, when you pay attention to the eyes that appeared, you realize that they're not human at all. In fact, they look like they belong to a wild creature, most likely a canine or wolf creature to be specific. But how's that possible? The angle at which those eyes appear make it evident that they most likely and definitely belong to a humanoid. But wolves aren't humanoids now, are they? So what exactly are we dealing with here? If you've been on this channel for a while, then I'm pretty sure you should have an intelligent guess by now. My team and I believe we could be dealing with the legendary Dogman. The individual filming adds that there's actually more than one Dogman creature and states that the howls we hear in the background are from the others. The vehicle shakes a bit, and our guess is that the creatures are responsible for it. The man lives through, so we can confidently state that he makes it out alive, but what do you think of the whole thing? Do those eyes truly belong to Dogman? Are we reading more meaning into something we shouldn't, or is the man simply playing with our intelligence? Share your thoughts in the comments section. While exploring the depths of a mineshaft, an explorer records a fascinating sight, a sizable bird gliding through the confined space. Onlookers faced with uncertainty consider different possibilities. Some propose it might be an owl or a bat. Owls are nocturnal birds of prey that are adapted to low-light conditions, and they might seek shelter in areas like mineshafts during the day. Bats, being nocturnal as well, often roost in dark places during daylight hours. Yet the captivating nature of the video invites speculation. Could it be more than just a typical creature of the dark? What if there's something more ominous happening, hiding in the depths of the mine? If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do that now? It goes a long way to help us make more of these kinds of videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. Now, these things you see were captured in the sky. They are two round patches of white cloud-looking things in the sky. These strange things keep blinking rays toward the Earth. They look like some sort of portals. However, an interesting observation is made. The footage seems to have been taken through a glass window. This leads some to theorize that what appears to be otherworldly portals could be reflections rather than genuine celestial phenomena. What do you think? What do you think this is? Ape? Bear? Bigfoot? Well, the individual who took the pictures says it's a Bigfoot. The image was captured near the border of New Mexico, which is known as a hotspot for Bigfoot sightings. Initially, it was thought that this Bigfoot was carrying lumber, but after critical analysis, they realized that it was actually a deer, and its head and antlers can be seen behind if you look closely enough. Is this the evidence we needed to know that Bigfoots are actually hunters and gatherers? Do they have their own recipes for eating wild animals, or do they eat them raw? I'm so tempted to visit the area just to confirm this for myself, but knowing me, I'd either collapse on seeing Bigfoot or end up with a meal. If that were to happen, who would collect your paranormal footage for you? For the sake of you guys, I'm willing to put this dream on hold so I can bring you quality content. On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now. It really helps us out a ton and gives me the opportunity to keep making these videos for you. Thank you very much. Moving on. Our next capture takes us to Oregon, where we have another sighting of the elusive Bigfoot. Take a look. Now, this capture is a bit more convincing, and that's a big, hulky build. This was captured in one woodland area in Oregon. The uploader refuses to share further details, but imagine running into this while exploring the woods. You'd definitely not be fine for a while. Do you think I'm being overly dramatic comparing this with the previous one, or do you think the previous one is more convincing? Share your thoughts with me in the comment section. The deep sea remains one of the most mysterious and least explored environments on Earth. In this footage, a strange creature was observed resembling the shape of a sperm but with a distinctive purple color. Interestingly, the creature doesn't have visible eyes, adding to its mysterious appearance. The absence of discernible eyes raises questions about the creature's sensory adaptations and how it navigates the darkness of the deep-sea environment. If any one of you aqua enthusiasts knows what this might be, please do share it with the rest of us in the comment section. Next, we have footage from a homeowner whose everyday reviewer for camera footage led to something rather disturbing. In the footage, you can see the woman walking away from the house, presumably leaving the premises. However, what happens next is anything but ordinary. As soon as she is out of sight, a ghostly figure materializes into view, seemingly from thin air. This spectral entity moves with otherworldly grace, nonchalantly passing by the trash cans before making its way into the house. Why does this ghost visit? Is it a wandering spirit looking for comfort? Could it be someone who lived on the property, or did it come with something more malevolent in its plans? It's hard to say, but the strange way it comes in, waiting for the homeowner to leave, makes the mystery even more mysterious, if you know what I mean. Now imagine setting up a trail camera to capture wildlife, and instead, you captured this. Did you see that? Did you see them? Those odd-looking balls of light. The man who originally posted this could not seem to make out what he'd captured. After it was uploaded, the internet did what it does best: provide answers. What do you think that is? If you thought anything than a cat, you were extremely wrong. While it may look puzzling at first, anyone who's been around cats will recognize that those lights are nothing more than eyes belonging to cats at night. What do you think? Before you move on to the next clip, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment in the comments section. It goes a long way to help us produce more videos for you. Thank you very much for doing so, it means a lot. Moving back to today's episode. Our next capture sends us all the way to Japan. And no, it's not about shinigamis or ninjas or anything of that sort. Instead, it's about crop circles. Bet you didn't expect that, but what comes to mind when you see these crop circles? Aliens, right? With all the alien buzz going on around, when I saw the capture, I automatically assumed that they were left there by aliens, but turns out there's actually a logical explanation. These were not the result of anything alien, but simply put, the experiment of aliens, I mean some scientists in Japan. Based on documentation acquired from the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, and Fisheries in Japan, it was revealed that in 1973, a specific land area close to Nishinan City was designated for experimental forestry. Among the experiments conducted in this area, one of them aimed to assess the impact of tree spacing on tree growth. The result of the experiment is what you see on your screens. Disappointing, yes, but at least we have answers. Unlike our next clip. Take a look at this spectacle that happened in Russia. The clouds in the sky appeared to split in two, forming a clear blue path above. This sight has led to different interpretations and guesses from those who saw it. Even people who have scientific explanations are torn between two ideas. One idea suggests that the phenomena could be caused by using vibrations to push away water molecules in the air. This is considered a way of controlling the weather in a cold climate area using nature and human intervention to influence atmospheric conditions. The other party suggests that this is a natural atmospheric phenomena known as a fall streak hole or hole punch cloud. These formations happen when very cold water droplets in a cloud turn into ice crystals. These ice crystals then fall out of the cloud, making a hole or gap in the layer of clouds, in this case, a path in the clouds. However, some are convinced that this might be something beyond our comprehension, something more supernatural, albeit they can't say what exactly. What do you guys think of this? In this unsettling footage from Haiti, captured by a surveillance camera, a seemingly routine visit to a convenience store takes a bizarre turn. As you can see, a man stands at the cashier ready to complete his purchase, and an unexplained force violently propels him to the floor. The impact is so forceful that he remains on the floor. In Haiti, beliefs in the supernatural and ancestral spirits are important, so the Haitian community, understanding spiritual matters, thinks that this might not just be an accident, but could be a type of spiritual payback or consequence for unknown actions. The footage is deemed legit, so it's hard to write it off as a hoax. Do you think spirits like to mess with humans because that's the only plausible explanation for our next clip? In fact, take a look. The footage starts off with some odd smoky or mist-like creature forming on the right side of the vehicle. Within some seconds, the mist becomes rather solid and ran across the highway just before the vehicle got there. Bear in mind that this was recorded by the vehicle's dashcam, which means everything happened in basically a few seconds. The appearance of the being is ghostly and ethereal in nature, which leads us back to our question. Do spirits mess with humans? Was this mist messing with him as well? Why did it appear on the right when it clearly wanted to be on the left? Why didn't it wait for them to pay before crossing? Unless it wanted to be seen by them. But why? So many questions and yet no answers. Speaking of Bigfoot, do you know what they sound like? Well, we have footage from Rough Mountain, Colorado, where there are alleged Bigfoot vocalizations. Watch and listen.
What is that?
That was Bigfoot.
Seriously?
Do you hear those sounds? They don't sound like any animal you know, do they? The individual recording is convinced that they're from Bigfoot and tells the family member asking about it the same thing. And guess what? After they were done with their activity, on their way back, they actually came across footprints that were much larger than any associated with your average man or any other creature for that matter. They were then very convinced that they were dealing with a Bigfoot. Looking at these footprints and the strange vocalizations, do you think they may have really encountered Bigfoot? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you followed our channel judiciously in the last week or so, then you would be familiar with our recent discussions on extraterrestrial life and the possibility of their existence. While many are quick to dismiss the idea, the vastness of the universe and all that's within it makes it possible for life to exist elsewhere other than ours. I recently came across this footage captured in China on April the 9th, 2024, which I found quite intriguing. In the clip, there is a peculiar circular shape in the sky with luminous edges. The object appears to be hovering in the air like a disk. While it's true that some clouds, such as lenticular clouds, can look unique, this particular one seems to be more than just a cloud formation. It has a distinct shape that looks eerily similar to a UFO. There are a number of individuals in the comments section who noticed this as well and were convinced we're dealing with a UFO whose camouflage was not working properly. Looking at it, I can see why they think that. Not only does it have an unconventional shape, it's also ginormous. This makes it fit into our whole alien spaceship category. While many were convinced we were looking at a ship, there was another group of individuals who were very convinced that this had to be a portal. While the portal hypothesis isn't impossible, the individual who posted the footage never saw anything come out of or go inside. The skies have been home to many unusual incidents over the years, and it's not uncommon for people to speculate about what they see. However, with more and more sightings being documented, it's clear that there's something strange happening up there. Wouldn't you agree? While flying, a pilot captured this video of an unusual flying object. The object had a saucer-like shape and was rotating while moving in the sky. What made it even more intriguing was the inscription on it, Truff. At first, the pilot thought it said Trump, but upon closer inspection, it was clear that it was Truff. Curiosity piqued, the pilot decided to research the word truff and found out that it was a branch of hot sauce. The connection between hot sauce and UFOs may seem absurd, but it could be that extraterrestrial beings like spicy food. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but think about it. What's not to love about hot sauce? Alternatively, it could be an entirely different explanation altogether. I mean, what are the odds that aliens speak and write English? Perhaps it's some markings in their language that we interpreted as ours. It's also possible that the video was a well-made CGI, although it's hard to be sure without further investigation. Regardless of the explanation, this sighting has left the pilot and the wider community wondering about the mysteries of the universe and the possibility of life beyond our planet. Do you love fish? If you answered yes, then can you tell me what on earth that is? It's hard to make sense of this because its upper body somewhat looks human, with the rest of its body looking like a fish. Could this be what real life and actual mermaids look like? On second thought, I doubt that's in any way a mermaid. It seems to be struggling to get by. Could it be some mutated organism or even perhaps a mutated mermaid? I know this sounds like a far stretch when you think about it, but how else can we explain that? Quite frankly, my team and I are out of options or even opinions. What do you think about the whole thing? Share your thoughts with us. During a recent excursion in Puerto Rico, a group of tourists visited the Isabella River. As they were sailing on the boat, Isabella, one of the tourists, noticed something unusual on the water's surface. She quickly pulled out her camera and started filming. Upon closer inspection, she saw a clear outline of a human-like creature under the water. The creature was moving at an exceptionally fast speed, much faster than any human could swim, and chased after their boat. The group was amazed and couldn't believe what they were seeing. They watched the creature for a while, and it stayed under the water for a considerable amount of time. It was evident that the creature was not human given the way it moved and the amount of time it spent under the water. The group couldn't help but share this, and it's very obvious what we are looking at here. It has to be a mermaid, siren, or some other type of mythical humanoid. There's no logical explanation for what this is. At least that's what a section of the community thinks. What about you? What do you think? The creature you see on your screen has murdered many and drank the blood of countless others. Not many have escaped its powerful gaze, and it has even developed a taste for human blood. It stuns its victims with its blood gaze and then proceeds to drink enough of their blood to keep them alive but weak. This is the vampire deer. Well, don't mind me, that was just a tease, and no, despite having those fangs, the creature you see doesn't suck blood. The Chinese water deer, also known as the water deer or vampire deer, due to its prominent fangs, is a small species of deer native to China and Korea. It's a unique and distinct species known for its appearance and behavior. Believe me when I tell you that despite having protruding upper canine teeth that can be as long as 3 inches, their diet primarily consists of a variety of plants, including aquatic vegetation, grasses, and shrubs. They use those canines for territorial displays and occasionally for combat. In other words, they're safe. No vampire is coming for your blood. Or are they? The recent eclipse that occurred on April the 8th, 2024 in the US has been a topic of discussion among many people. However, new footage has emerged that has raised some questions and theories about the authenticity of the event. In the footage, an individual can be seen using paper eyeglasses to observe the sky, and an eclipse appears to be taking place. However, the footage takes a strange turn when the individual takes off the glasses and moves the camera to show what's happening on the other side of the sky. And guess what? There's no eclipse on the other side. It's just a blue sky with the moon. You and I know that's not possible. Naturally, this has led to several questions being asked, such as how is it possible for an eclipse to appear on one side of the sky but not on the other side? This has led to various theories that the government may be involved in faking natural occurrences. Some even posted comments like this. Some even thought we were looking at a different planet altogether. The government isn't the only one being questioned, though. The authenticity of the footage is also being questioned. A number of individuals actually suspect that the clip has been edited. They even called the edit a poor one that failed to convince. Now, I understand their sentiments. We've never heard of a half-night, half-day sky. The video also does a poor job of convincing us that it's real, but perhaps that's just me subconsciously taking a side in all this. You've seen the clip. What do you also think? Tell us in the comments section.
Look behind you. Insane. Whoa, did you see that just shoot across? Did anyone else see that?
This next clip is proof of that. I mean, how much of a coincidence can it really be when a similar phenomenon was experienced in another part of the world not too long after it had been seen in Korea? A man was filming the stunning coastal scenery when he witnessed the extraordinary event. Unlike Korea, however, there appeared to be lightning in the sky. While many were distracted by it, a bright object suddenly appeared and streaked across the sky with immense speed almost without being seen. If the man behind the camera was not filming, it may have been missed. It's not clear why this was bright and the Korean one was dark. To add to the mystery, the exact location of the sighting is not known. Comments flooded in on the post from intrigued viewers with their theories about the object. Some suggested it could be the Air Force, but upon closer inspection, it didn't seem to be a human-made object. I mean, there was not much to inspect, but when did we started traveling at light speeds with ships made up of light? Exactly. Another theory was that it was a missile, but missiles tend to have a visible trail of fire behind them, whereas this object was all bright like a luminous entity or something else entirely. Also, I don't think missiles affect the atmosphere like this one did. The possibilities of what this object could be are endless. Many still hold on to the fact that it could be something of extraterrestrial origin, while others think, that's just loony. They don't see anything beyond a weather phenomenon here. But what about you? What do you see? On the shores of an unidentified location, a mysterious and strange creature lies washed up on the shore. This creature is hard to categorize with its pale skin, round head, and a mix of features that seem both human-like and aquatic. It has hands that look like a human's with 4 claw-like fingers, while its lower half transforms into a fish-like shape. The creature is pretty as well. The puzzling nature of this creature leaves observers wondering where it came from and how it got to the shore. What combination of species could result in such a distinctive yet mysterious being? Please feel free to share your thoughts. Take a look at this footage. A man claims to have seen this strange-looking creature in his pond. Seeing it is one thing, but this man actually runs to catch it with a net. The strange-looking thing has a semblance of a turtle. It also looks like a human child in a turtle costume, if you ask me. It brings to mind the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but how could such things be? Honestly, I think this is a hoax. I mean, the possibilities of it being a hoax are endless. It could be a person in a costume or CGI. What do you think? I wish I could tell you those were the only strange things happening in our sky, but it gets stranger. Our next clip was captured in Ukraine, and it has left many people scratching their heads. In the video, a whitish-looking sheet-like object can be seen hovering in the sky with its top part bent forward. The atmosphere in the video appears to be quite foggy, which adds to the mysterious nature of the sighting. At first sight, many assume that the strange things going on in the sky might be some sort of weather anomaly or unusual cloud formation. For those on the ground, that would have made sense, but those on the higher planes or buildings like the one recording saw what was really happening. They saw what you see on your screen. Spooked, they uploaded it and then sent some of the paranormal communities into a frenzy. Many had differing views on what could be going on. Some viewers speculated that the object was a blue beam projection, while others suggested that it was simply a mark on a glass window from which the footage was recorded. Interestingly, one viewer even used the alien emoji, implying that they thought the object was of extraterrestrial origin. Given the unusual appearance of the object and the varied opinions surrounding it, it's difficult to say with certainty what the footage shows. It would, however, be unwise to downplay any of the comments, since they are basically possible until proven otherwise. Unless, of course, the clip is fake, but that too has to be proven. Unlike the Baltic Sea anomaly, a groundbreaking discovery in space exploration has left the scientific community excited and thrilled because it's been confirmed to be of extraterrestrial origin. Harvard physicist Professor Avi Loeb and his team claim to have found material from outside our solar system for the first time. This remarkable achievement came from the interstellar expedition of June 2023, where metallic fragments were retrieved from the Pacific Ocean near Papua New Guinea. These metallic spheres, which were recovered from the ocean floor, have compositions unlike any known natural or man-made alloys. According to experts, these fragments may have come from space, which could revolutionize our understanding of the universe. This discovery is a significant milestone in the field of space exploration and opens up new possibilities for research and exploration. It provides exciting insights into the mysteries of space and the potential existence of extraterrestrial objects. The scientific community is optimistic that this discovery will lead to further exploration and research into the unknown aspects of our universe. The odd thing about the discovery is the fact that the professor suspects or thinks that whatever was discovered could be technological, which hints at intelligent life elsewhere in our universe. He's not 100% sure though, but he states that it's tougher than space rocks. Many in the scientific community are skeptical about the discovery, but no professor will put their reputation and pedigree on the line if they didn't think there was something there. Either way, it looks like we may have to wait for further investigations to come to a conclusion on this one. What does your gut tell you, though? Encountering the unknown can be both fascinating and disconcerting, and in this particular instance, a man stumbles upon a mysterious creature in a river.
What in the world you all want? We gonna get you out this water. Somebody let me know, what is this? It's half turtle.
The creature has a body like a turtle and a face that mixes fish-like features with small black eyes, making it a distinct and possibly hybrid specimen. The combination of these characteristics leads to questions of its origin. Is it a hybrid of both worlds? A whimsical creation intended to merge the characteristics of both land and water animals? Or something entirely different? Without further details about the location, scientific examination, or expert analysis, it's challenging to ascertain the true nature of this enigmatic creature. Nature is known for its diversity, occasionally presenting us with surprises that challenge our understanding of the living world. What if, instead of nature, man created this thing? A Reddit user went hiking with a partner and came across the bizarre and unexplained. On the hike, they took along with them a Polaroid camera to capture the fleeting moments of their journey. As they were walking through the forest, they encountered a peculiar post that was mounted on a path and labeled Dead End. The sign was put there because that path led to the highway. Curious about the spooky message, the couple took a picture of the post, hoping that it would embody the mysterious feeling of the journey. When the image was developed, however, the couple was shocked at what they saw. There was an actual ghostly apparition standing a little further away from the post. It was all black, yet was not a shadow. It was a dark human entity. The couple, confused by the sudden appearance of this mysterious thing, had questions on their minds. They didn't see this entity earlier when they took the photo, so how was it even possible? Most importantly, who or what could that be? Ghost of a victim who used that path, or maybe some mysterious being with unclear intentions? A strange wave anomaly was detected off the coast of Africa, causing a global stir on April 10, 2024. The anomaly was first detected by Ventusky, a meteorological app developed by the Czech company Inmedio. The app uses animated arcs to differentiate between wind waves and swells, giving users real-time insights into weather phenomena. The anomaly consisted of a cluster of waves that were over 80 feet high and spanned 2,000 miles, which is larger than the state of Texas. It appeared and lasted for around 24 hours before disappearing. This caught the attention of many people on social media platforms, including X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube. MRMBB333, a prominent figure in the exploration of unexplained phenomena, analyzed the anomaly in a YouTube video using Zoom Earth satellite maps to measure its dimensions. The anomaly's vast scale, larger than entire African nations and twice the size of Texas, inspired humorous and speculative responses from viewers. Many people speculated that such a large formation could only have been created by a subaquatic entity and dubbed it an unidentified submersible object, or USO, similar to a UFO but beneath the waves. Others imagined a huge sea creature like the fictional Cthulhu or an alien vessel lurking under the water. However, Newsweek's investigations revealed a more mundane explanation, attributing the anomaly to a model error. Despite the disappointment from those hoping for a more exciting explanation, the event remains a fascinating meteorological phenomenon that captured the attention of millions around the world. But what do you think? Was it just an error, as they say, or are they hiding something? In 2011, the Ocean X team, a Swedish treasure hunting team, discovered this mysterious object on the seabed of the Baltic Sea. This object was called the Baltic Sea Anomaly. Naturally, this incident gained attention at the time. Initial sonar images of the anomaly revealed a large circular object about 60 meters in diameter, with features that appeared to be of artificial origin. Further investigation using underwater cameras and diving expeditions revealed additional details, including strange stone formations and linear tracks that resemble drag marks. This anomaly was never figured out, so led to a lot of debate. Some suggested that it could be a sunken ship, a natural rock formation, or even extraterrestrial in nature. Despite extensive study, scientists have been unable to determine the exact nature and origin of the Baltic Sea anomaly. Next, we have drone footage from an unnamed rural area. The footage starts off as one of those documentaries from the rural areas, but soon enough, we realize it's not. As the footage plays on, a peculiar and unsettling sight unfolds. At the entrance of what seems to be an old deserted shack in the middle of nowhere, we spot a pale and ghostly figure crouched on the ground, seemingly engrossed in some activity. The nature of this activity remains shrouded in mystery. Moments later, this enigmatic figure becomes aware of the drone's presence and proceeds to exit the shack and move towards the compound. As the figure draws nearer, we can discern that its appearance is both human-like and disfigured, evoking eerie and unsettling qualities. Some refer to this kind of being as a rake or a skinwalker, often associated with otherworldly creatures or even extraterrestrial entities. The questions that emerge are numerous. What might a creature of this nature be doing in a town setting? What could its intentions be in this particular part of town? The footage leaves us with a perplexing and unsettling enigma. As much as I'd love to believe this thing is real and genuine, a part of me believes. No, a part of me knows that this is definitely a hoax. The coincidences are just too numerous, and also, the being looks like it might be a human pretending to be something else. Deers are curious, yet very careful creatures. It's only natural for them to observe unexpected and unknown objects in their environments from a safe distance. Clearly, that's what the doe in this capture is doing. She's noticed the strange light orb and is looking at it. But what at all could it be? Well, if you've been on this channel for long, then you know that the deer is looking at a spirit orb. They tend to become visible during heightened spiritual or paranormal activity. At least, that's what we believe. Is the capture legit, though? We want to believe it is, but there's something offsetting about its looks and body language. I just can't seem to put a finger on it. Perhaps it's just me. If you notice it too, please do share it in the comments section. For our next one, if you have a fear of spiders or arachnophobia, you might want to skip it. Yes, you're seeing right. Those are the legs of a spider and its underbelly or thorax, if I'm not mistaken. Is the spider giant, though? As much as I'd love to say yes, it's not. It's a normal-sized spider moving on top of the Trailcam. We've encountered numerous instances of this, which led me to wonder if Trailcams have something that attracts spiders, but it turns out they don't. Trailcam setups can, however, become hot zones for insects, and as we know, spiders love their insects, which is likely why we often see them hanging around Trailcams. But what do you think? Still on animals detecting things you wouldn't expect them to, we have this interesting trail cam footage. Watch. In the footage, we see two deer grazing. One of the two, however, is jittery and keeps looking around as though it were expecting a predator or felt something that was not right. I was tempted to think it might be normal behavior. That was, at least until I noticed the translucent thing that moved across the screen right when it turned. What was that strange thing? Is it a paranormal entity? Did that deer just notice a paranormal being? Does that mean animals are capable of detecting beings beyond our plane? Or is this video cleverly edited to make it look that way? So many questions, yet no answers. Tell us, what do you think? We'd really love to know. Next, we see an image I never expected to see on the internet. The image you see on your screen was taken from an old slave plantation. In the capture, we see what appears to be a small house in the middle of nowhere. That's not the weird thing, as we see such houses all the time. The strange thing about the capture is the fact that we see what appears to be a ghostly figure in shackles within the building. The being has a whitish skin, and that's as far as it goes. But why would someone put themselves in shackles in an abandoned building somewhere? The lore here is, they did not. Instead, it's believed that what you are actually seeing is the soul of one of the previous slaves who had been held in the facility. As weird and as wild as that might seem, that's the accepted truth. You might be wondering, is that even possible? Well, the evidence of its existence is what you see in the capture, unless, of course, the whole thing is false. This drone capture is from a vicinity mostly made up of a large plantation with grass in different stages and shades of their colors. If you pay attention further to the north, you'd see the grove of trees in many different lengths, all visible as the sun shines. It's all green grass and tall trees until a dark figure is seen in front of two white pillars that looks like a gateway between Earth and another world. The being is walking without a care in the world. Although we see a dark creature et al., it possesses a human-like gait when it walks. Here's where things get weird. No humans were expected to be in the area where the footage was recorded at the point it was. In fact, think of it more as an abandoned area with little to no people traversing it. Yet we see this tall, dark figure seemingly taking a stroll. This begs the question, what is it? A Bigfoot or a man in a suit? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Now let's unravel a peculiar sighting that occurred in the vast Canadian mountains. Picture this. A lone hiker surrounded by the breathtaking wilderness stumbles upon an inexplicable scenario. As the hiker's gaze goes down the mountain, a peculiar sight unfolds before them. It's a creature, or at least something that appears to be one. What makes this sighting truly baffling is how it moves. The rock seems to be lifted from beneath as though some unseen force resides beneath the surface. What could be causing this eerie phenomenon? But hold on, the strangeness doesn't stop there. As this mysterious movement inches closer to a backpack resting on the ground, our expectations are defied. Instead of the backpack itself shifting, a sudden gust of wind whips through, making the backpack straps flutter through the air. The movement then passes by the backpack and moves out of sight. What could this be? Some kind of new natural phenomenon or something else we should be concerned about? Have you experienced something like this? Please tell us in the comment section. This footage was captured near Nevada's Nellis Air Force Base in the morning sky when the recorder spotted a white flying object. Upon closer examination, it's clear that this isn't an airplane. It lacks typical aircraft features and has a distinct tic-tac or pill-like shape. It's gliding through the atmosphere at an incredibly fast pace, dominating the daytime sky. This can only be one thing, another UFO sighting. Experts were consulted, and they unanimously concluded that it was not an airplane. They described it as chunky, ruling out any conventional aircraft. When comparing this footage to the recorder's other airplane videos, the distinct shape of this object, along with the absence of typical aircraft features, highlights the stark difference. Is this a UFO? Tell us what you think. In this video clip, we are presented with a rather unusual sight, an enigmatic creature with a large, reddish-brown and hairy appearance. It appears to be a well-preserved body of an ape-like beast. As much as I'd love to tell you that's an ape, the uploader insists that what you are seeing on your screen is not an ape. It's purportedly a Bigfoot, supposedly killed and preserved in ice. He claims to have discovered it during an exploration and captured the videos. Looking at the footage now, do you agree that's Bigfoot? Have you ever been on one of those long family trips? Do you have any interesting memories from them? If you do, I doubt they can compare to what this family captured from their trip. As you watch the current footage, notice the camera's focus on a tree at the center of the frame. Keep an eye on that tree and you'll spot a shadow moving behind it. Do you see it? It doesn't look like anything you have encountered, does it? If you were hoping I'd identify this creature and share its history as we usually do on this channel, I must disappoint you today. We have gone through our archives on cryptids and other paranormal beings, and it doesn't match with anything in our database. We're tempted to think that this is the first time this paranormal being or shadow creature has been caught on camera. Some, including the family that recorded it, have stated it's definitely a Bigfoot, but that's something we just don't see. Do you, though? This video was captured in the dead of night, and as the recorder ventured deeper into the woods, feeling he was being followed or watched, he decided to say hello.
Hello?
Can you see it?
His voice echoes a friendly hello into the darkness, and in response, an eerie sound emanates from somewhere ahead. Through the camera lens, we catch a glimpse of a peculiar white figure. It doesn't appear to have typical physical features. Instead, it seems to be clad entirely in white clothing with holes strategically cut around the eyes for visibility. Suddenly, this enigmatic creature has its attention on the explorer. In an unexpected twist, it seems to dive, reminiscent of a large fish descending back into the sea. It appears as though the creature is attempting to approach the recorder. This sudden movement prompts an immediate reaction from the explorer. He hastily turns the camera away from the creature and, quite understandably, decides to make a run for it. The identity of this mysterious creature remains a puzzle, and the nature of its response to the explorer's greeting adds an element of intrigue to the encounter. What could this creature be, and why did it react the way it did? These questions linger even among members of the paranormal with no certain answers. What do you think? Our next video, which was uploaded on the channel Seused, certainly presents an intriguing and mysterious object found in a basement. The footage shows a strange black object that appears to be shaking. If you come from where I come from, you'd know that shaking black orbs, like looking at things from the basement, are definitely things you should avoid. But looks like this YouTuber didn't get the memo. Once he uploaded the footage, however, various speculations were offered by viewers, suggesting it could be an egg or even a cocoon. However, without more context or information, it's challenging to definitely identify the object and determine its origin. Do you have any theories or thoughts on what this object might be? Personally, my theories may be too frightening or out of this world to share, but I'd love to hear yours. What do you think this is? Please tell me in the comments section. In this video clip, we witness a late-night ride with the passenger recording the journey as the car passes through a grove of trees illuminated by an overhead light. However, the drive takes an unexpected turn when the car slows down, drawing attention to a peculiar sight. Among the trees, a dark creature moves. Due to the limited visibility and darkness, it's hard to tell exactly what it is. Many in the paranormal community speculated that it might be a skunk ape. Given the fact that we have little to go on about, it's an impossibility. But there are others who think it's nothing more than a black bear and that the footage was recorded by some park rangers. The video offers a fascinating glimpse of the animal's size and movements, but it's essential to remember that sometimes in low light or unusual conditions, things may appear differently than they actually are. So I have said what I believe it to be. What do you personally think? Still on our streak of strange things, we have another footage you will want to see. This footage was taken by an individual who was out of their home with his mom during a storm. We don't know the exact circumstances that had them out long enough to have been caught in a storm, especially when they were in a structure so close to their home. The ocean has always held a treasure trove of mysteries, and this washed-up creature in Yemen only adds to this intrigue. At first glance, it's easy to mistake it for a whale due to its massive size, but upon closer inspection, it becomes evident that it defies the characteristics of a typical whale. Speculation and debates surround this enigma. Some skeptics propose that it might be a giant squid, a creature that's long been shrouded in mystery and myth. But even this theory doesn't provide a definitive answer. The truth is that the depths of the ocean still conceal many secrets, and encounters like these serve as a reminder that there's much we don't know about the creatures that inhabit the deep. The mysterious creature from Yemen challenges us to continue exploring and understanding the vast mysteries that lie beneath the ocean's surface. So what's your take on this intriguing marine wonder? Let us know in the comments section. There are glitches in the Matrix that seem fake and almost unreal, but what about this one? While driving over an overpass, someone spotted an airplane just above the overpass in the sky. Now, what could be so special about this airplane, you may ask? This aircraft was stuck in the air, and even after the car passed the overpass to the other side, the plane was still stuck there. When experts inspected the footage, they said the footage was legit. Some people reported seeing the same thing. Unless you're telling me that there is traffic in the sky or planes get stuck in mid-air when out of fuel, this is a Matrix glitch. What do you think? As you collect your thoughts, this footage marks the end of today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there popular trail cams out there you want us to look at? Please tell us in the comments section as we'll be reading. You can also send us a mail of strange and unexplainable videos you may have recorded yourself. Just forward them to classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll upload it in our next episode and give you the credit unless you want to remain anonymous. We look forward to receiving your content. Like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to share the video with friends and family. See you in the next one. If you thought that was bizarre, then I wonder what you will make of this next one. In fact, why don't I just show you? I know it's rhetorical, but I still have to ask, what do you see in this capture? I don't know about you, but there's a striking resemblance between whatever that is and James P. Sullivan from Disney's Monster, Inc. You can't unsee it now, can you? Either way, what creature do you think you see in the capture? The one who sent it in believes it's a Sasquatch. Taking a second look at it, I kinda understand why the person may have said this, but it just doesn't cut it for me. The supposed capture doesn't look the littlest bit real, although you have to admit it's a cool-looking cryptid. If you were to ask me, though, I'd say that this is nothing more than an AI creation. It's just too obvious when I look at it. What about you? For our next footage, we go all the way to Indonesia for a rather unconventional capture. Don't just take my word for it, take a look. Yes, you're actually looking at some sort of weird-looking giant. This is the first time we've seen this particular footage, and a subscriber here drew our attention to it. According to the original uploader, the creature just showed up at the end of their street and remained still as though it were waiting for something or someone. Looking at the creature, it's much larger and taller than an estimated size we have for Bigfoot, suggesting it's not a Bigfoot. It appears to have a lot of fur and is obviously a humanoid. Does this fit any known cryptid? Well, not one that we are aware of, but as much as I'd love for this to be real, it just doesn't feel like it. I have a strong feeling that whoever uploaded this was trying very hard to mislead us. I think this might have been a statue or something set up in the area where the footage was taken from. Given the fact that nobody is running or screaming in the footage, I'm tempted to think so. Just in case you're wondering what I think about the camera shake, well, I believe it's more fake than the video is. The shake doesn't even look the least bit realistic, but that might just be my thinking. What do you see when you look at the footage? Do you think I'm being overly critical and skeptical? Share your thoughts in the comments section. I'll be reading. Do you believe in ghosts? How then do you explain this? The footage starts off with a young girl leaving home. Her comments when she uploaded the footage showed that she was actually going to work on an early morning shift, specifically 2 a.m., which is dawn. A neighborhood is safe, so there was nothing to worry about. At least that's what she thought until a mist-looking intangible entity appeared from the left and went after her. No one would have believed her but for the CCTV camera that captured the whole thing. She concluded that the thing was a ghost, but no one had died in her home or neighborhood recently, which left her perplexed as to why she, of all people, would be chased. She posted it online seeking answers. There are many possibilities for this, from living in a haunted house to touching something she wasn't supposed to. I could go on, but that would all be speculation. Who has experienced this before? Can you share your experience with the rest of us? We'd love to know. This clip comes from Sequoia Park, California. It shows another strange sky phenomenon.
Is it a cross? Heck no, it's not a cross. What is that? Like a... Whoa.
Let me see it.
Dude, it looks like a dude in a suit. It looks like Iron Man.
At first glance, it appears to be some kind of glowing figure floating in the air. The entity seems to have a head, arms, and legs, and it's surrounded by a distinct and noticeable glow. The people behind the camera who filmed the video were convinced that they'd witnessed a superhuman or an alien. However, when the video was posted online, some commenters suggested that it might be a hologram, and the term blue beam projection was mentioned once again. It's difficult to determine what exactly is happening in the video and whether it's real or a hoax. The possibility of a hologram or a government conspiracy cannot be ruled out, but as always, there's little evidence to suggest that's the case. The only thing we can do now is speculate and hypothesize on what this might be. You have seen the clip. What's your hypothesis?
What the heck? Jonathan, what in the world?
Probably the super. What is that?
Take a look. In the footage, we see a house that's situated in an isolated part of an estate in Scotland. The footage was taken by tourists who were feeling brave and decided that an abandoned house in an abandoned part of town would be a fun place to hang out. In the footage, we see the tourists walking along and recording an eerie-looking house. They aren't bothered because it's supposed to be an abandoned house. That was at least the case until they saw movement in the house. They focus on the window with the movement, and sure enough, someone's there. Not the kind you'd expect, but they're there. The person looks out of the window and they see her or it because it has pale white skin as if it has been dead. It has dark patches around its eyes and maybe a horn. It's hard to say because whatever it is retreats as soon as it realizes it's been discovered. Instead of running from the building, these tourists run toward it, and I can't help but wonder why. But what do you think of the whole ordeal? Tell us in the comments section. And with that, we end today's episode. If you have any Trailcam footage you'd like the rest of the world to see, please send it over to us at classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. Don't be shy and don't think it's crazy. We'll help you make sense of even the most bizarre of captures. What's more, we'll give you the credit unless you want to remain anonymous. With that said, what are you waiting for? Send it in. Next, we have footage that presents us with a vast expanse of land covered in grass. However, as we examine the scene more closely, we notice something intriguing, if you could call it that. Towards the darker area of the landscape where the illumination is limited, two bright red lights stand out. They don't just look like small dots or lights, they look like eyes belonging to a large creature. Speculation often arises when such mysterious sightings occur, and it's not uncommon for people to associate this with another potential Bigfoot sighting. However, let's consider other possibilities. While many in the paranormal community subscribe to the idea that it's indeed a Bigfoot, when you pay attention to the footage, you see a small animal moving toward the right side of captured footage. The creature is in no rush and moves as though it has all the time in the world. If there was indeed a large creature with glowing eyes, trust me, that small animal would have been running for its life. How then do we explain the glowing eyes in the footage? CGI, AI, VFX? Whichever one fits the bill. The footage is most definitely doctored, and I'd like to believe it was done for clout. I mean, they almost had us too, until we noticed the small moving animal. What do you think of the whole thing? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Throughout history, dinosaurs have remained a topic of fascination for humanity. Even today, their existence and extinction continues to captivate our imagination. To unlock the mysteries surrounding these magnificent creatures, archaeologists have studied cave paintings dating back several centuries. This leads us to a cave located in Borneo's East Kalimantan province. Here, scientists have found the oldest figurative painting in the world. The painting is of wild cattle and is estimated to be around 40,000 years old. The painting is part of a larger panel with other animal paintings, stencils, and designs, and was made using iron oxide pigment. The cave Lubang Jeriji Sala has thousands of rock art images, providing insight into the ancient history of our planet and the creatures that used to walk the earth. They aren't just rough sketches hastily thrown together. Oh no, these are intricate depictions painstakingly crafted using iron oxide pigment, with every scale and contour lovingly rendered for all to behold. Discoveries like this help researchers learn even more about our past. While those ones are easier to understand, there are also paintings like these that have scientists scratching their heads. The one who posted it refused to tell us where it's from, but a quick look at these images and you can tell they're depicting dinosaurs. But how? Aren't dinosaurs supposed to have died off millions of years ago? How is it our distant ancestors had images of them? This naturally led to a lot of debate on the paranormal platforms. Some thought this was proof that the dinosaurs still walk amongst us. Some people thought this was proof of the Hollow Earth theory, which has been visualized in modern cinema using the recent King Kong and Godzilla movie. As the debate raged on, one member of the paranormal community made a profound statement. He stated that our ancestors could have found their remains in much better shape than we have found today, which is why they could have such vivid drawings of them. When you think about it, well, that's actually logical. Is that the case, though? Until research in this area advances, we will never know for sure. But what do you think? Recently, this video was circulating on social media, and it shows strange glowing creatures floating in the sky with a luminous trail behind them. Some people are wondering if these creatures are angels, while others are skeptical and suggest that the video may be a clever hoax created using CGI. Angels are celestial beings that have been part of various religious and mythological traditions for centuries. They're often depicted as messengers or intermediaries between the divine realm and humanity, tasked with guiding and protecting people on their spiritual journeys. In the Christian faith, angels are believed to be God's messengers, while in the Islamic faith, angels are considered to be created from light and serve as intermediaries between Allah and humanity. The concept of angels is prevalent in many cultures worldwide, including Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Zoroastrianism, and others. Each culture has its own beliefs and interpretations of angels, such as the number of angels that exist or their specific roles in the divine hierarchy. What do you think of them, especially those in the clip? Next, we have another video clip capturing the curiosity of animals. In this footage, we see a camera being licked by what could be presumed as the legendary creature, Bigfoot. The footage begins with a striking red hue, which sets an eerie tone. As it continues, we witness what appears to be a tongue licking the camera screen, an unexpected sight in Trailcam captures. The uploader claims this isn't the first occurrence and believes he may be dealing with a juvenile Bigfoot playing with the camera equipment. It may sound like a stretch, but what are your thoughts on this? Share in the comments section. This camera footage was taken from the entrance of a home where an eerie creature comes into view. Taking a critical look at the creature, it has a head shaped like a light bulb and glowing red eyes. It appears to be maintaining balance with two strong arms by its side. It repeatedly comes into view and then retreats into the darkness. It's hard to say if it's afraid or luring its next and potential victim. What could this be and where could it have popped out from? Is it a possessed doll acting as the landlord of the house when the owners are not present? An evil spirit that has attached itself to the house, perhaps? Many think it's a rake, but I call it fake. I know I rhymed there, but well, that's the game. Maybe I should stop before you call me out for lame dad jokes, but either way, what do you make of it? Next, we have another trail cam footage taken from a remote woodland area. We've no idea what we're looking at. Perhaps you could help. Did you see it? Watch again. You see it, don't you? There's quick movement from the right side of the frame to the left. The camera's position is quite the distance from the moving object, but whatever it is, it's quite fast. We attempted zooming in to perhaps discover what the moving object is, and this is what we saw. You see it too, don't you? There's no being in it. It just looks like moving fog and smoke, but how's that even possible, especially at that speed? Could it be a paranormal creature? Could it be the result of zooming in the low-quality image? Or could the footage be edited? Share your thoughts with us. We'd love to hear it. Still on the paranormal, take a look at this image capture. We know trail cams capture a lot of weird and interesting stuff, but what is that? The individual whose trail camera captured this image is unsure of what it is. Some individuals online told him it might be frost on the camera. I don't know much about that, but this looks like a cobweb of some sort. Some in the paranormal community, however, believe that his camera may have captured something paranormal. The challenge, however, is the fact that we can't tell what it captured. What do you think of his hypothesis, though? Could this merely be frost on the lens as suggested, or are we dealing with something paranormal here? Have you had such an experience, or can you explain what we're seeing? Please talk to us in the comments section for our curiosity and insatiable search for answers that's consuming us. Yes, I'm exaggerating, but seriously, talk to us. AI is everywhere now and involved in everything now that we basically can no longer imagine a future without some sort of AI. But is AI as safe as we think it is? Before you answer, watch this footage. Yes, those are AI robots sitting in a game. While many think this is cute and represents an advancement in the human race, you have to agree that it could be also dangerous. I mean, what if these things turn on us and start attacking? Who would be there to keep us safe? While we are trying to figure out the strange creatures and phenomena that plague our world, there are also those who choose to do strange things that leave us all shocked and questioning them. This footage was taken on a train. In the footage, we see a person in a costume and heavy makeup eating spaghetti on the floor. I mean, this is a train, and I don't even want to get started on how unsanitary that is. But what is wrong with this person? Could it be that he needs help psychologically, or is he just doing this for attention? Any New Yorker with an answer? Do you see that? Can you see how the creature stares directly and eerily at the camera? It's almost as though it knew it was being watched and wanted to let whoever on the camera to be aware of this fact. But you have got to wonder, is that really a gorilla, or are we dealing with a cryptid like a Bigfoot? Don't get me wrong, but when you take a closer look at the image, you'll realize that whatever it is, it's walking on its 2 feet, not necessarily on its knuckles like a gorilla would. I don't know about you, but if I owned this trail camera, I'd watch my back or avoid that part of the woods altogether. Still on Bigfoot? Take a look at that. Looks like a Bigfoot, does it not? This image was apparently captured by a trail camera set up in the woods, and the uploader of the image believes he hit the paranormal motherlode. He believes he has finally captured the highest resolution of Bigfoot images to ever be caught on a trail camera. Taking a look at that image, we don't dispute that that looks like the back of a primate that's capable of standing on its 2 feet. It actually reminds me of the old Kong movies, although the picture is very detailed with the creature's fur et al. When you take a closer look at the edge of its fur that ties into the main image, it's unnaturally blurry, especially on the left side of its body. This makes me doubt the authenticity of the image, and I suspect that it might have been created using AI, but perhaps that's just me. What do you think? Still on shadows, take a look at this next one. This footage was taken from a dash cam on a vehicle late at night. The uploader of the footage felt something cross his vehicle whilst driving at night. Although it scared him, he assumed it might be a deer or some other form of animal, as they are notorious for such activities on the particular highway he was on. He got home, however, reviewed the footage, and realized that it was no deer. In fact, it was no live animal at all. It was simply a shadow moving in front of the vehicle at high speed. He had experts look at it to make sure his camera wasn't misbehaving, and lo and behold, it wasn't. He'd actually captured a shadow creature that took the form of an animal. What was it? Well, we really can't tell, but that only makes the encounter more mysterious. Have you ever had such an encounter? Tell us about it in the comments section. We'd really love to hear it. This footage presents an intriguing discovery made by an intrepid explorer of the wild. The individual sought to investigate unusual tracks, and you won't believe what he discovered. At first glance, these footprints appear to be of human origin, resembling the impressions left behind by a person's feet or shoes. However, upon closer examination and comparison with the recorder's own shoe prints, it becomes evident that these footprints exhibit a unique characteristic: their depth. The depth to which these footprints penetrate the ground suggests a muddy or soft terrain, indicating that whatever creature left them possessed considerable weight or power. Given the profound depth of these footprints and the remote wilderness in which they were found, one theory emerges: the presence of the legendary Bigfoot. Bigfoot, often associated with elusive encounters in forested regions, is a creature that has fueled the imaginations of many. The investigator believes it's a juvenile Bigfoot, given how small but deep the footprints are. I must say that this is a sentiment I can agree with. Next, we have this odd-looking capture from a trail cam located deep in the woods. Did you see it? Does it look like a normal capture you'd expect from a trail cam? It's certainly not. The owner of the trail cam was surprised that the image came out like this on his trail cam, since he'd not added any effects to the image, and the device itself was not faulty in any way and captured high-definition images. A closer look at the tape, and you'll realize that it looks like a bear or some other type of canine. But bears don't turn camera images white. What then could be going on in the image? Are we dealing with a being from another dimension? Could it be an alien that ran some interference with the camera to delete footage it may have captured of itself, or is the uploader of the image simply lying? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. We'd love to hear them. For our next clip, we travel back in time to 1994 for footage not many have seen. Take a look. Yep, that's a man in the woods alone with a Bigfoot. The exact location is near Deduct Spring in the Blue Mountain Range in Oregon. You can tell from his heavy breathing that the man's very anxious and perhaps even scared. His shaky hands make it hard to tell what he's scared of, but a few seconds into the footage and it becomes apparent. There's a giant a few meters away from him with a human-like gait, yet having an ape-like body. Its arms are unusually large and it walks as though it was very heavy. It looks like it could really cause some damage to the man if it wanted to, which explains his heavy breathing. But for some odd reason, the creature isn't interested in him. The man recording the footage believes it's a Bigfoot, and I'm tempted to say I do believe him. I mean, how else do we explain what we're seeing here? Bear in mind that this is 1994 and CGI and special effects were not as popular as they are today. Unless, of course, that's a man in a suit. But that's least likely if you ask me. What do you think, though? Encounters with mysterious and potentially menacing intruders can be deeply unsettling, especially when they defy easy explanations. In this case, a person on a farm spots an intruder from a distance, but what they see is not someone they could simply approach and ask to leave the property. As they zoom in on the footage, the features of the creature come into focus, and it bears a striking resemblance to the elusive rake. The fear and uncertainty of the situation leave the farmer standing at a distance, watching the creature with a mix of awe and trepidation. In this image, we're introduced to a hairless bear, which at first glance might remind you of a lion with its distinctive mane. However, this is indeed a bear. The image was captured in Leipzig, a city in Germany, and it's within the confines of a local zoo. The zoo's garnered attention for its rather peculiar condition of some of its female bears, one of which is Dolores. She's noticeably devoid of fur, an appearance that's quite uncommon for a bear. The mysterious hair loss in these bears has left experts puzzled, and despite extensive investigation, a conclusive cause remains elusive. Before I say anything about this particular one, watch the footage.
1, 2, 3, 4. I don't see the thumb. There is a print right here that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what this thing did.
You can pick it up barely right now.
That's a left-hand print.
That's the kitchen. So the interesting part about these windows, these were the only 2 windows in the entire home that you could see through the curtains. We changed those. She changed those curtains yesterday.
This thing was peeking in to see what y'all were doing.
That's the only window he could see.
It was peeking in to see what you were doing.
Yup, you heard what you heard. The man in the bluish shirt lives in the home you just saw. According to him, their time in the house was interrupted by a giant furry creature that appears to be looking into their home. The man in red came over to carry out some friendly neighborhood forensics and concluded that they indeed had been visited by a Bigfoot. He points to handprints on the window, which we can't see, but just imagine being in your home and seeing a giant ape-like creature staring into your room. I can't imagine what it would feel like. Some people in the comments section are convinced that the Bigfoot was only curious, while some thought it was only there because it was hungry and could smell something nice from the kitchen. Others, however, don't share that enthusiasm. They think he was there to plan his attack. It's hard for us to believe a Bigfoot would do that, though. It's out of its character. But what do you think about the whole thing? Were the men telling the truth or simply looking for fame? Share your thoughts with us. Speaking of creatures we have a hard time identifying, a subscriber of the channel sent this capture in. He believes it's a paranormal creature haunting his property. We've critically looked at the image for several days and can't seem to make out what it really is. A team member says he believes we're looking at a hog, but I personally don't see anything of interest or worry in the capture. do you? Next, we have another one of those forest captures that is sure to leave you questioning everything you know and have accepted about this world. Have a look. The footage you see on your screen currently was captured by a man who was going through the woods on a beautiful sunny day. He was having one of those days when you can't shake the feeling that something otherworldly is lurking nearby, if you know what I mean. He could never shake off the feeling, and he understood once he got to the location he shot the footage you see on your screen. If you pay close attention, you'll notice that there's a dark figure in the center of the footage. Although it's not very clear, the uploader states that there was a tall ape-like beast or creature going on about its business there. Even though the creature hadn't noticed him and he was at a distance, its presence still filled him with fear. The fear he felt the moment he noticed the creature was, however, nothing compared to what he felt when the creature finally stood on its feet. At that moment, he realized that it was larger than he had already anticipated. At that moment, he felt the creature had noticed him, but it paid no attention and walked further into the woods, disappearing from sight. It's hard to authenticate the footage due to its blurry nature from being overly zoomed in. But what do you make of the footage? Do you think this is real? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. If you thought that was weird, I have one that might calm your nerves. Enter Bigfoot. The footage you see has been the cause of many debates. The debates have been on its authenticity. If you ask me, however, the creature or being moving in the footage does not appear to be CGI. The only way this could be fake is if it was a human in a bodysuit. I'm no expert, but that doesn't seem to be the case here, unless, of course, you know some 8-foot humans that are willing to play dress-up in the woods. Even then, I doubt the costume would come out this good, but that's just me. What do you think? Next, we have this very unusual Trailcam capture of deer. Wondering what makes this capture unusual? Take a good look at the deer in the image. Do you see those claw marks? They look like they were inflicted by something really big and dangerous. But what could have done that? The truth is, no one knows, not even the one who uploaded the image online. He believes it could be a cougar or a bear, but I haven't known these creatures to let their prey go, especially once they'd captured it, unless by some stroke of luck. So tell us, what do you think happened to this deer? Would love to know your thoughts. Next, we have a Trailcam capture of a creature that looks like a grasshopper, but it's the size of a man. Did you see it? In the first capture, we see its face, and in the second, we see the rest of its body. My team and I almost discarded the footage because we thought it was a regular grasshopper caught on a trail camera. After a second look, and we realized that the creature was actually the size of a man. I mean, take a look at the trees in the background. Do you see its size correlation with the creature? It's definitely the size of a man, if not bigger. We cross-checked our database of paranormal and otherworldly creatures and couldn't find anything remotely like this creature. Could it be a new creature that's yet to be documented, or are we simply looking at a computer-generated image? Share your thoughts with us. It was on May 2014 in the depths of southeast Peru that a Trailcam captured something truly extraordinary. This creature, with its eerie appearance, left even seasoned explorers trembling with intrigue. As the footage unveils, we catch a glimpse of a creature that defies conventional explanation. Its form, obscured by the dense foliage, seems monstrous and otherworldly. The mind races with wild speculations. Could this be a mythical beast, a relic from a forgotten age, or an otherworldly entity that has made its home in the depths of the rainforest? The enigma deepens as reports emerge from Panama, where this same creature has been sighted and given a mysterious moniker, the short-eared dog or the short-eared Zorro. This creature, shrouded in secrecy, finds itself classified as an endangered species. Its existence is threatened by the fearsome predators that roam these rainforest realms, the ocelots, the jaguars, and the mighty pumas, formidable adversaries that could send shivers down anyone's spine. The range of this elusive creature stretches across the South American rainforest regions of Peru, Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador, and possibly Venezuela. It's said to inhabit the waters or seek refuge in the depths of heavy rainforests, its every move masked in the veil of mystery. But let us shift our gaze from the realm of legends and turn our attention to the facts that lie within the depths of this creature's existence. This creature, known by the name of the short-eared dog, stands as an enigmatic species facing the threats of its natural habitat. So no, it's no paranormal being, instead an endangered species due to our recklessness. So picture this, there's a dude out hiking in the woods, just enjoying nature's wonders. Suddenly, his eyes catch something bizarre, a creature strolling the path up ahead. Now, you know this guy couldn't resist the call of curiosity, so he decides to play detective and starts chasing after the enigmatic being. But here's where it gets intense, my friends. As our brave adventurer gets closer, he begins to realize that what he's chasing after is no ordinary critter. Nope, this thing defies all labels and categories. It's like a riddle wrapped in a mystery. The creature standing tall at a whopping 7 to 8 feet is a hulking beast. I'm talking muscles on muscles, folks. And get this, it's covered head to toe in brown fur, giving off some serious ape vibes. But here's the kicker. It's running on 2 legs with its massive arms effortlessly swinging through the trees like they're twigs in the wind. Can you imagine witnessing that? Now, hold on tight, because it gets even more hair-raising. As the chase heats up, the creature senses its pursuer hot on its tail and picks up the pace. It's desperate to shake off its persistent shadow. But guess what? Our gutsy hiker refuses to back down. He's like a dog with a bone, determined to uncover the truth. But here's the heart-stopping moment. The creature suddenly comes to a halt and starts pacing among the trees, unleashing bone-chilling growls that could make your blood freeze. It's at that very moment that our hiker realizes he's come face to face with the legendary Bigfoot. Yeah, you heard me right. Bigfoot. Luckily, the pacing giant eventually calms down and bolts away, leaving our intrepid hiker in a state of shock and awe. I mean, who wouldn't be left dumbfounded after an encounter like that? Now, let's step into the paranormal and mysterious. Take a look at this Trailcam capture. Do you see the creature in the capture? It looks like some type of ape, doesn't it? But take a closer look. You'll realize its body proportions are definitely not the same as any known ape. What's more, there's something funny going on with its face. Despite the blurry nature of the footage, the uploader believes the creature is holding a baby close to its face. My team and I struggle to see that, but can you? If you can, please do share in the comments section. As remarkable as that is, that's not what makes this capture special. The image was taken in Florida, and the uploader believes it's a capture of none other than the skunk ape. For those unfamiliar with the skunk ape, think of it as a version of Bigfoot that lives in the swamps. With that said, what do you think? Could this really be a skunk ape, or is this whole thing merely an exaggeration? Share your thoughts with us. Speaking of wild predators, take a look at this majestic and beautiful wild cat. Do you know what species of cat it is? Do you have an idea of what it's doing in the footage? Tell us in the comments section and add one rare fact about the creature. Start your comment with bonus footage so we easily identify it. The most accurate description with the rarest fact will win a feature in our next video. All the best. Next, we have footage we haven't had in a while on this channel, and by that, I mean footage of a child lost in the forest. Take a look. As you can see, there's a young child roaming the forest at night. The uploader of the footage insists that there are no settlements in this part of the wood where the camera that captured this was located. Due to this fact, he finds it hard to believe this footage exists and thinks we're dealing with a ghost or spirit. But are we now? It's hard to say, but I'm having one of those hunches that this footage isn't real. Although there's not much to go within the footage, if this image was captured in the woods, there should definitely be more foliage than we're seeing in the capture. Don't get me wrong, but it looks like this was captured in the city, or at least a developed area. I suspect that the pole to the boy's right might not necessarily be a tree or shrub, but possibly a utility pole in a residential area. A part of me just feels like someone is looking for their 5 minutes of fame. But what do you think? Next, we have this rev footage from the wild. I mean, just have a look. That's a mama moose and its baby calf. If you know anything about the wild, you know night times are such dangerous times and danger soon arrives from the right part of the frame. It moves quickly and goes after the calf. Mama Moose notices the shift in the atmosphere and went into a defensive stance, but even that was not enough to protect her young one. In an attempt to knock out the predator, she knocks out her young, and the wolves try to capitalize on it. She doesn't give up, however, and stands over her calf, kicking frantically. I can imagine what fear it felt knowing how helpless they were. As much as I'd love to tell you that they overcame and escaped the wolves, the truth is we don't know if they did. The whole thing ended off of camera, but knowing how relentless and persistent wolves can be, I don't think it ended well. Now, I know all the talk about glitches and what have you can be weird, but there are a number of videos on the internet that seem to support the fact that we're living in a simulation. Take a look at this one, for instance. How, I ask again, how? How does it keep burning even after it's been disconnected? A number of individuals made jokes like this, and quite frankly, I can understand them because it's not something you would expect to see every day. Almost everyone who saw it called it a glitch. A few individuals, however, believed it was great editing and CGI. I get why they might think that, but is it true though? Is this truly computer-generated imagery? Well, given the limited information we have, whatever we decide is the case will be like taking a leap of faith. This time, however, I would leave the final conclusion to you. What do you think is going on here? A sharp departure from our mystery videos, but still, do check out this amazing mirror cabin. It's a super cool piece of modern architecture that's made of reflective steel. The steel is so reflective that the cabin blends right into its surroundings, making it look like it's almost invisible. It's stunning and so fascinating to look at. Plus, the inside is just as impressive as the outside. The designers went all out to make sure that every inch of space was comfy and convenient. You've got to see it for yourself to believe it. Imagine hiding out here during an apocalypse. No, wait, why did I think apocalypse and not something romantic? Well, this is a mystery channel after all. So, would I get one? Well, let's just say it's got me daydreaming about a futuristic hideaway of my own. After all, who wouldn't want to ride out to the end of the world in style? Remember the apparent peeping Bigfoot clip from earlier? Well, here's another one, only instead of hearing the people describe what happened, we actually see it happening. Have a look. Remarkable, isn't it? Based on the quality of the footage, however, it's hard to tell what we're dealing with. Some have suggested it could be a bear, but others in the paranormal community believe that we're actually dealing with a Bigfoot here. If you ask me, however, I have reservations. First of all, the creature's eyes are beady and small, which makes me doubt it's a Bigfoot. Secondly, I don't think this footage looks like the ones taken by trail cameras unless it's a normal camera. But if it is, how did their hands not shake while they recorded, and why didn't the creature take off? So many unanswered questions and red flags. Forgive me for playing the devil's advocate, but what do you think? Do you think the footage is real, or do you have reservations too? Tell us in the comments section. Next, we have this footage that was sent to us from another subscriber. He was very sure that his trail camera had captured a skinwalker, but instead of talking about it, perhaps I should let you see it. It's not always that you see a deer stand on its hind legs. Seeing the deer stand on its hind legs right in front of the camera made the individual who sent it in think it was a skinwalker playing with him. Based on my little knowledge of deer, however, I know that that's definitely not a skinwalker. Deer can stand on their hind legs when they need to reach food from higher heights, which is what I think is going on here. But I could be wrong. Of all the things a skinwalker could do in front of a trail camera, why would it stand on its hind legs? But those are just my thoughts. What do you think? In this video clip, we are presented with a rather unusual sight, an enigmatic creature with a large, reddish-brown and hairy appearance. It appears to be a well-preserved body of an ape-like beast. As much as I'd love to tell you that's an ape, the uploader insists that what you are seeing on your screen is not an ape. It's purportedly a Bigfoot, supposedly killed and preserved in ice. He claims to have discovered it during an exploration and captured the videos. Looking at the footage now, do you agree that's Bigfoot? High above the vast Polish skies, an enigma unfolded as keen eyes aboard a flight beheld a peculiar sight. You see it, don't you? A mysterious vertical object defying earthly norms. The upper section loomed larger while its lower counterpart held an intriguing diminutiveness. Now, we're no experts, but conventional human craft rarely boasts such perplexing features. Could it be a lost satellite, a secretive government drone, or perhaps the intergalactic equivalent of a cosmic tourist? Our next captivating footage transports us back in time, raising the age-old question. Are dinosaurs real or just confined to the realms of history and imagination? The video captures a moment that appears to showcase a little T-Rex being fed, adding a layer of fascination and awe to the mystery surrounding these ancient creatures. Throughout history, we've dug up skeletal remains hinting at the existence of dinosaurs in eras long before humans came into the picture. But now, this footage seems to suggest the wild notion of dinosaurs making a comeback from extinction. It's like a spark of curiosity and deep thinking. The thought of running into these colossal creatures in the here and now shakes up our understanding of how nature works. It's like a giant leap beyond what we thought we knew about the natural order of things. Apparently a lot, but this is not one of them. It's what we call a leopard seal, not a mystical creature this time. Leopard seals are strong predators known for their sleek, spotted look and great hunting skills. They live in the cold waters around Antarctica and nearby areas where they're top hunters. Their bodies are shaped like torpedoes, and they have powerful jaws with sharp teeth, making them perfect for life in icy seas. They mostly eat fish, squid, and krill, but they also hunt penguins and other seals. Someone sent us this footage claiming it was the Loch Ness Monster, but come on. I didn't need to go to Julius to know this wasn't one. What do you guys think? As the rain poured down, someone decided to capture the event on their camera. Turns out they did the right thing because suddenly, out of nowhere, a bolt of lightning struck the ground, accompanied by a deafening roar of thunder. Out of the lightning flash emerged a floating, glowing entity. The entity appeared to be hovering mid-air and appeared to be surrounded by an ethereal glow. The person filming was so spooked that they quickly retreated to the safety of their home. The question that remains is, what exactly was that mysterious entity? Was it an angel or some sort of interdimensional being that arrived through a portal created by the lightning strike? Our next footage was taken by a Ring doorbell camera. From the footage, you can clearly tell that it's nighttime, and the rain seems to be pouring pretty heavily. A closer look and you'll realize that there's something strange about this. There in the sky is this ball of light. It doesn't look like your regular star, and it's definitely too high to be your normal street light. Simply put, it doesn't look like any of the celestial bodies we're used to. Instead, it just hovers there, mysteriously blinking in a pattern like a guiding light in the dark. What are we looking at here? Could it be some far-off space object trying to send a subtle message on this rainy night, or maybe it's a rare weather event causing optical illusions, making it seem like something it's not to the person watching? A resident in Virginia stumbled upon something quite unexpected: an Egyptian railway train. Yeah, you heard that right.
This is an Egyptian railways train.
Now, I'm no geography expert, but last time I checked, Virginia and Egypt weren't exactly next-door neighbors. So how in the world did an Egyptian train make its way to Virginia? Did it take a wrong turn and hop on a magical track to end up halfway across the globe? One plausible explanation could be that the train in question is a replica or a theme-based attraction rather than the actual operational Egyptian railway train. Another possibility is that the train components were transported to the United States for exhibition or display. But these are just speculations since no context was given to the situation. But what do you think could be going on here?
Really long. It goes on and on and on here at Norfolk Southern Railways.
During his cave exploration, the man spotted a peculiar fossil that caught his attention. As he moved closer, he realized that it was a saucer-shaped object stuck in a massive rock. After conducting a thorough examination, the experts confirmed that the fossil was, in fact, a UFO that had been buried for over 5 million years. The discovery of this ancient UFO has sparked a lot of interest and curiosity amongst scientists and the public alike. At least, that's what the individual who sent this clip in said. I've combed online resources and I can't seem to find any credible information. Also, this UFO is rather too small, unless the aliens are tiny little buggers. But what do you guys think? Angels have long been revered as divine beings, known for their luminous appearance and wings. Recently, intriguing footage has surfaced showing a collection of glowing objects in the night sky. The objects were not like the famous glowing orbs that have been spotted in the past. They were a mass of oddly shaped things moving slowly in a captivating manner. The footage has left people wondering if these creatures were truly angels. The video raises many questions. Were these objects divine beings checking in on us, or were they something else entirely? What are your thoughts? Extreme body modifications, such as tattooing the entire body or undergoing procedures to resemble animals, are indeed a form of self-expression that can be perceived as unconventional and even shocking. In this case, we have a person with his back inked like a snake. I mean, talk about commitment to the extreme. It's like they decided regular tattoos weren't cutting it, so why not turn the entire back into a slithering serpent canvas? Freaky doesn't even begin to describe it. But hey, each to their own, right? Beauty and body modifications come in all sorts of flavors. Some might find it intriguing, while others might find it a tad too freaky. This next one is from America. A woman turns her gaze skyward to capture the dance of a peculiar light. What unfolds is a sight that leaves one intrigued, a light resembling fire gracefully traversing the heavens. Yet as the primary light fades into obscurity, a smaller companion emerges, continuing the celestial spectacle. Now the question lingers. Was this an encounter with an otherworldly UFO, or perhaps a captivating play of holographic imagery in the night sky? Speaking of Bigfoot, this elusive creature has been a subject of curiosity for years. The idea of Bigfoot fighting a bull might be thrilling, but it would only be possible if the creature was real. Someone shared this intriguing image online. While he was out in the mountains, he felt like something was staring at him. When he looked back, he saw this creature hiding behind a large rock. The creature was dark, with only its head sticking out from behind the rock. It didn't look human and had an animalistic appearance, which led him to believe it was Bigfoot. The footage has sparked a heated debate. On one hand, believers see this as compelling evidence that Bigfoot exists and is out hiding in remote areas. On the other hand, skeptics argue that this could easily be a hoax. The figure might be a person in a costume or simply a play of shadows and light, creating an illusion of a creature. With today's technology, editing and creating such videos has become easier, leading many to doubt the authenticity of such sightings. So what do you think? Is this proof that the elusive Bigfoot is indeed real and hiding out there, or is it all just a hoax fueled by someone's wild imagination? Share your thoughts and theories. And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is that you can share them with us and we will post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.